I was like, why did I post pictures of me and my mum in here? Oh yeah, that was the last time.
We're live.
Hi.
Hello.
Don't mind me. I'm tired and probably a bit loopy.
I have my vodka tonight, and I am happy.
Oh, lucky you. I've got water.
I have
Because
cherry Pepsi.
my immune system has kicked the ass of vaccine symptoms, and I can drink.
Woo! Woo!
Yay.
That was a weird woo.
You're a little
wow.
confused, but you got the spirit, and that's all that matters.
No one's even showed up yet, and I already have two.
Bioman's here. Soon.
Hello.
Yes, we look forward to having you on call.
Yes.
That was a weird woo.
I heard this like weird noise from a seagull outside. I don't know if you guys heard it.
No, don't worry.
Don't worry, I'm not gonna redo it because it was embarrassing enough.
That's why I heard Toby shiver all the way from here.
Yeah.
I was on his Resident Evil stream.
Yeah,
it sounded as if there was a gull actually just shouting into his mic.
Yep.
Yeah, he's just sort of like sitting there playing Resident Evil. He goes, "Oh."
Yeah, and I saw that.
What was that?
Shadow White showed up, and everyone just ignored him.
Good.
Also, Gemma, do I have your permission to whore ourselves out in the Cortex Club?
Yeah, and
I'm already doing it, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, you can do it. I think the only thing, what Jacob's wanting to do is that we can tag everyone, but I need to try and other people. So you can put it in general, but you can also put it in streams. So
okay,
yeah. Because if I give everyone the option of tagging everyone, and everyone's going to go going, "Who summoned me?"
Yeah.
That's what I was.
God,
I was.
Hey.
Yeah. Yeah.
He tried showing up in Toby's stream. No one acknowledged him, so I don't know if he left or if he just didn't speak the rest of the time, but
well, it's not like it wasn't like I wasn't going to tell Toby.
You're right.
Yeah.
So.
But no, like, you know how he always shows up and is like, "Oh, good. Hey, everyone, how's it going?" And at least one person's like, "Oh, hey, what's up?"
Yeah. It's like, nope. Like, nope. Not at all.
Your lack of engagement makes me moist. Well, it was a great stream, guys. Mandy's probably going to kick me out of the call now.
Like...
And goodbye.
Bring me back.
It's okay, you're still here.
Yay!
For now.
And I have my vodka. Technically, I have a screwdriver. It's just vodka and OJ.
You need to talk like Dan Aykroyd the whole time.
To be honest, he talks fairly normal.
He just needs to be really enthusiastic about everything.
Yeah. And just start...
Ghosts are real. Yeah. I believe ghosts are real. Ghostbusters is a documentary.
Was Coneheads a documentary? Is Dan Aykroyd a ghost? That's one of my favorite lines from that JonTron video.
No, it's like, Dan Aykroyd a ghost.
Hello, Raptor.
And I just love the beginning. Oh no, it's the ghost of late night television. Why have you come here, apparition? Is it to reclaim your lost relevance?
I really enjoyed his last video on juicing. That was like the juice king.
I haven't watched that one yet, but I have seen the one before it where he's like, where it's scam inventions and shit marketed for.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like, I had cancer, and I got rid of it with juice. Really? You didn't do anything else there?
Mike said, you know what's really good, Kenzie? A little bit of grenadine on top of a screwdriver. Oh, that sounds really good, but I unfortunately do not have grenadine.
Oh, I used to have grenadine,
Maybe
but
I'll
it's
pick
gone
some
now.
up. I do have to go and get more sugar soon for the hummingbirds, so.
Oh,
Coneheads is a documentary. Yes, just like The Highlander. The Highlander was a documentary, and the events were filmed in real time.
How do you
well,
explain
yeah.
Highlander 2, though?
Look, all I know is that there were mountains and lots of magic everywhere. Mel Gibson.
Yeah, I always talk about like, that like with Highlander that yeah, they filmed all the stuff like, the kind of 1583 stuff, but that was just 1986 in Scotland at the time. And it was just the difference between 1986 Scotland and 1986 New York.
Cobe says wanting to watch this on the bus, but the Wi-Fi is too shit, living with real problems. Well,
Hi,
Sorry,
Cobe.
Cobe.
We appreciate the attempt.
Yes. But Bioman says the Steven Seagal video was pretty funny. Like, oh, I felt so bad for the guy trying to interview him. It's like, so do you still think you're dangerous? He's just like bugs out his eyes. Like he's trying so hard just to have a normal conversation with this guy.
Have you
Let's
seen the
face
John?
it, all of John
Favreau-
Tron's videos are bangers.
Yes.
Yeah. I was gonna say, have you seen the John Leguizamo interview where he's like, yeah, Steven Seagal. I laughed at Steven Seagal like during a rehearsal, and he put me in like a chokehold. Like, it was like I just laughed because he was being really funny.
I haven't. You will have to try and find that.
Yeah.
Legit just buffering start. Damn, sorry, Cobe.
Aw.
Well,
So he probably doesn't
me.
even hear us.
Yeah.
Well, he should probably be home soon. I think my favorite of John Tron's most recent videos was probably the real ghosts, actual real life
yeah.
ghosts.
I can't get over the name Yanni Janssen. Like, are we sure that's how it was pronounced?
It's like this guy Yanni Janssen, and then lists really terrible things about it. It's like the just like the lame couldn't read, and it's just like, hey, guy.
When he's aggressively chopping wood and he gets all his whole crew, Yanni.
Fun fact: Steven Seagal taught Anderson Silva, 12-time MMA champion, how to throw a front kick. Something I learned in my first karate class. Wow.
Wow.
But then again, like Seagal's, as John says, the one who is like, I'm a master of Aikido. Oh, you mean a bullshit fakey martial art?
Yeah.
So he probably thinks like just a simple front kick is like high level stuff.
Mm.
Oh, the whole karate thing reminds me of in the last video, not the juice one, when the one guy is like trying to sell cane karate.
Oh yeah, yeah for the elderly.
Yeah.
And so you just see John Tron in the background on the bongos. I don't know why. It's just I loved that joke.
One of my favorite jokes is one I just like quote quite a lot, and it's just like "cluck towel." That's not very scary.
And then Yar shows up. Oh shit!
And it's like, oh, that's the one.
Scissorman.
Not the scissor.
Should we get started?
Yeah, we should probably do that.
Yeah, just one more moment.
Okie dokie. It's
What are
been
you
light
doing?
outside all fucking day, and as soon as I sit down and do something, it starts getting dark in the room. I'm just like, come on.
Inconsiderate son.
I know. I was like, no, I'm like, oh, for God's sake, the light's off. Now I'm getting more sleepy.
Well, it's pissed off at us because Teresa's stealing all the gas from it.
Wait a minute, you're in England. There shouldn't be any sun.
Hello, Vince.
I've already
Hello.
talked to Toby. Your one day of summer has already come.
Yeah.
And he just up and muted himself. Great.
Surprise guest.
Yeah, he literally just DM'd me saying, "Hey, can I join the stream?" Like, yeah, sure.
It's that easy, folks.
Sometimes.
Most of the time you have to pay us. By us, we mean Manny.
The SCP Foundation page has got like the pride flag, which I'm like, oh, actually looks nice.
Yeah.
We stan inclusive horror websites. Just like we stan James A. Janice for being an anti-pedo horror king.
Yes.
I guess.
I know you haven't seen Kill. I know you haven't watched the kill count, but
yeah. What's funny? I just find it really funny that because I've got both of the In Search of Darkness like horror documentaries, and he and James Rolfe are in them. And
really,
yeah, and like James A. Janice just like is interviewed like he's doing the kill count. He just starts talking about the movies like he's talking to them. He's talking about them on the kill count, and I'm just like, you're not like you're not doing your show. You just like turn it off a little. But it's sweet.
what the hell happened to my internet?
I don't know.
Oh no, this isn't good.
It's the seagulls. They've
I'm not
teleported.
connected anymore. Shit.
I can still hear you.
Yeah, it's just only affecting like I can't see the stream. If you send over the link, I can do it from my phone, but for now I can't use my laptop.
Oh,
I
that's
think
weird.
I think what my dad is trying to do is hook up. We have like a new doorbell, but also is the one that has a camera in it. So when you go up to our front door, you'll get a text. And I think he is trying to set that up.
Hello, we have the lovely Cricket on the stream.
Hi, Cricket!
Hello, Cricket.
And Vince just not saying anything.
Vince, are you there?
Hello, I'm actually here for a stream that you're also a part of.
Vince.
Well. Shall we get...
Wait.
I still need the links.
What?
I still need the links. I don't know what we're reading.
It's in the chat.
I apologize for my squeaky door.
I don't see it in... Hang on. I'm not seeing it.
It's in the pen pals chat.
Yeah, I'm in Pen Pal's chat. What are you trying to pull, Manny? There we go.
It's just getting my blood pressure up for no reason.
Hey!
There he is.
So, I love this as a running gag. Every time I do anything with you guys, that I have to reset Discord every fucking time. when I want to start a call. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Thank you, Discord. Yeah, I barely tolerate your existence because you're ran by weirdos and baby fur lovers and potential nonces and groomers and whatnot. And I can well, I can't tolerate that, but I live with it. But then you have the audacity to have a fucking service that doesn't completely work.
Yeah, Discord is shit most of the time.
It's still better than Skype.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
much better than Skype.
Oh yeah.
I still can't use Skype, and I used Skype for about 12 years.
Oh, take me back to the days where I used to hang out with the lads on Skype, having calls talking about nonsense. That Jesus Christ, that was like 2016 or 2015.
Yeah.
I've known Jacob for a while now, and it's kind of weird that it's been at least a half a decade.
Yeah, as I remember, my first Skype call with Cobe was probably around like June 2015.
So this is probably the first time I've ever seen you guys tackle. Like, have you tackled SCP stuff before?
No.
No.
I don't think it's something that really it's something that's formatted in such a way that it's kind of hard to really break down and criticize what works and what doesn't work, except for ones that are just demonstrably idiotic, like the sentient satellite that's a Homestuck fan that has its own blog.
What?
Yeah, that's an SCP.
I've heard about that one.
If
That
it's
was stupid.
Yeah, if it's a Homestuck fan, you just destroy it.
Funny, like there are certain things that I like. Like I like the game Undertale. And if someone said that game is awful and I hate everyone who enjoys it, like I'm more likely to stand side by shoulder to shoulder with you than any other Undertale fan because I completely get it.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, and me.
Like, Jake, like I hate Undertale. Like I hate Undertale fans. Like me too. But you just said you liked Undertale. Yeah. So.
I like Logan likes Undertale, and he's really enjoying it. And I'm just like, that's awesome, Logan. Don't know anything about it aside from I didn't like it.
I
can't believe you of all people, Gemma, though, don't like puns the game.
I don't. Well, more than anything else, I don't like people acting like there was some kind of. Oh, there are certain concepts, meta concepts that introduced. Like this game was inspired by Earthbound, and why are people kind of forgetting that Earthbound did these things first? Like, are we just going to magically forget that? Every Earthbound-inspired game, they act like it's some weird innovation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, Lisa the Painful RPG was better. I'll just say it.
Still haven't played that.
It's very hard intentionally.
Oh, I know who. I to be honest, that'd be something I know that I think Logan would enjoy. He likes those sort of games.
It's also very depressing, and it also has one of the most. It has one of the best written main characters. Like, you know how Life is Strange is supposed to have a character that's allegedly unlikable but deep or something like that? Like, oh, well, she's just so interesting, even though she's not unlikable.
Yeah.
We have a main character that is incredibly flawed and arguably unlikable, but you can't help but understand where he's coming from.
Oh, so a bit like Deadly Premonition with like everyone hates the main character, but you actually no, he's actually I quite like him.
See, I don't know anything about Deadly Premonition because I just no one does. Literally no one.
No one except very, very few people who were able to play the game without turning it off halfway through.
Deadly Premonition is like if David Lynch was okay. David, we want you to make a video game. Like, oh, okay, that sounds fun. Also, you got to program it too. Wait, what?
That is a perfect analogy for Deadly Premonition. It's like, oh, but you want to do it in Japan, and you're gonna make it very Japanese, but set it in Twin Peaks. Okay, then.
I love like that. I love the tone and the weird ass writing and the characterization of that game. Is just it's not fun to play at all.
I played it properly back in like December, and Jacob was watching me play it and just kind of going, "How are you not frustrated with this?" I'm just like, I enjoy everything else aside from. So it's very flawed. I like it.
To be fair, one of my favorite games is Silent Hill 4, and that game is atrocious when it comes to gameplay and enemies.
True, but it's got a great story and really great atmosphere.
And a terrible is a difference between a bad protagonist and a terrible performance.
Speaking of Silent Hill 4, I discovered last night that there's at least this one guy who's really, really adamant that the whole game is about anti-circumcision.
Excuse me?
Okay.
Yeah, I proposed it to Rudy for us to do another conspiracy theory stream.
Mm-hmm. And does this gentleman, is he a fan of MatPat, and does he work at BuzzFeed?
I don't know. I couldn't even say no because I'm like, well,
it's funny because my sister was like watching. My sister and I have kind of different tastes when it comes to entertainment on YouTube. And I walk by and they're watching Among Us live streams. I'm like, can't you watch something different? Then they switch on fucking Game Theory and MatPat, and like I just look at the TV and like I would actually prefer if you go back to the Among Us streams, please.
No, but here's the thing though. It's not even the kind of MatPat ones where, yeah, he's a reaching, but at least he seems. At least it's well-researched reaches. Whereas this guy is like, this thing here, this worm monster looks like a penis, so clearly it means anti-circumcision. But he was mostly just preachy about how circumcision is evil.
From now on, I'm going to call MatPat Sonny Liston because of his immense reach. Haha. Only boxing fans will get that. The joke is that Sonny Liston had an 84-inch reach, which was like a foot longer than his body.
Wow.
Come on, there's gotta be. I'll find someone in this community that watch boxing. Damn it, one day.
So someday.
Never. I'll probably die alone. I'm gonna die alone. Where is Bioman? I thought you were talking about having him on stream.
We have him on for hot beans.
Oh. Well, I don't know anything about you, Bioman, but I just know that my gut tells me not to talk to you ever in person.
But he's not a dinosaur.
Well, I told you I'm bigoted depending on what side of the bed I roll out of.
That's right.
I got names in a hat. Like, who am I going to be racist towards today?
I was like, people with bio in their names.
Aha! See right there. Vince, I watch MMA and... Okay, I changed my mind. Biomed is my new best friend. So, SCP, what made you pick this particular installment? This particular entry?
Gemma.
This one I picked. Well, so I picked a safe one, a Euclid, and a Keter class one. This one I just thought was really wholesome in what the idea was with the kind of like item on the kind of object this was, and just kind of going off and like reading through it, I just kind of thought it was quite amusing. that somebody thought this up and was like, I'm gonna actually just like give examples of what actually, and because I watched the show, like at least watched it back in the day, so it brought up a kind of nostalgia for me.
Oh, what show?
It's basically so for Siskel and Ebert at the movies.
All I know, I did kind of respect Siskel and Ebert. I didn't like how Ebert was kind of like moralizer, and he had a lot of weird takes on horror. Although I thought it's kind of weird because he was very hit and miss. He was one of the few people that defended Halloween when it came out, right?
Yeah, like I really enjoy them both. I think I sided a lot more with Gene Siskel a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But they both had really had some pretty shit takes at times. Like, and obviously some of my favorite movies are some that Roger Ebert gave 2 thumbs down to. But like I did respect them, but I do think sometimes I was just like, yeah, I think this just went over your head.
I will never forgive them for what shit talking the thing.
Yeah, I'll never forgive them for that.
Because the
either.
original film was so fucking good, wasn't it? The fucking Carrot Man.
I do like the original, but the John Carpenter one was just like
We don't mention that here.
It's the lightning in a bottle.
What about the Thing prequel film, where we get to see a bunch of Norwegians who all kind of look the same? Which
I just said we don't mention that here.
It wasn't terrible. It's just the effects were awful and the lead was boring.
Kenzie, when I'm like, what I meant about the the original one was like the one from the 50s.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, like I said, that's why I said Carrot Man, the Vegetable Man. Vegetable Frankenstein.
I mean, you're not wrong.
It's not a bad film by any means. It's actually like decent, especially the ending effect where the thing is on fire is one of the best in cinema history, and no one can change my mind. It looks so good.
It does.
But it's just in general, the film, it's like, oh, it's a analogy for Cold War and that kind of stuff. Like, oh yeah, I got it.
It's like Invasion of the Body Snatchers came out, and that was what that was about too.
A random thought, like this, I guess I'm looking over this story or this entry in the SCP wiki, and it kind of reminds me of that one. I don't know if you're familiar with it, Gemma. I think there were 2 SCPs that were specifically written by Max Landis. Yeah, the Max Landis. Most known for being the most hated guest on Having a Bag. Or not Having a Bag, Best of the Worst.
Yeah.
Well, I argue that Patton Oswalt is much, much worse, but I'm biased. I fucking can't stand Patton Oswalt. And it was like a possessed Tupac album that when you put it on, Tupac raps about real crimes taking place, like currently.
Seriously?
Yeah. Max Landis is a weird dude. I have a weird kind of grudging respect for him, but he is very annoying.
That sounds like something you guys would read on Bad Creepypasta.
And then at some point, Tupac gets upset because he realizes I'm contained, and my warnings to get these people arrested aren't getting out to people. And so he starts rapping about how to break into the SCP Foundation. It's like Bubbles the Clown, except it's Tupac.
So speaking of SCP, should we start?
Yeah. Manny, should we start now?
Yeah.
Who's
Are you alright, Manny? You're kind of quiet.
What's that?
Are you alright? You haven't said anything.
Yeah.
I don't believe you now.
Well, that's because you have a face.
Got him.
You can't see me. You don't know that.
Shit, you're right.
By the way, next week I'm going to be doing a Wattpad Wednesday on Slenderman stories.
I'm in.
Oh, I did not invite you.
I'm inviting myself.
No.
Can I come?
Of course, best friend.
Thank you.
Everyone's
Can
invited.
I come play too?
Everyone's invited to the stream except Manny.
Okay.
In fact, I'll even invite Raptor.
Oh shit. Manny, you are getting knocked down this totem pole.
Yeah.
You know, it's very mean to make fun of people like that. So, Manny, you're invited, and Kenzie's out. That's not very. That wasn't very nice of you, Kenzie. Who would just hurt someone's feelings like that? To single someone out like that? It's very rude, Kenzie.
I was just making an observation.
And now you're back talking to me.
Bitch.
Okay, so this is SCP 1799.
What?
1788, the year I was born.
1756.
I know how to read sometimes.
All right. For people in the chat, should I go over the object classes for SCP, or am I like the only one here who doesn't know about those?
Well, I think you should, just for the uninitiated.
All right. So the SCP has 3 designations for their entries. The first is safe. The designation safe is assigned to subjects or objects that may be effectively and reliably contained. Safe designates may have individual containment procedures, but these procedures are not expected to fail frequently or be subject to later revision as more information is obtained about a subject. Some safe designates are human, humanoid, and/or sentient. To prevent injury and/or death, personnel and SCPs, interaction with such designates should be professional and courteous, taking into account containment procedures. It should be noted that safe does not indicate that the containment procedures are unnecessary. Many safe designated objects can be quite dangerous in the right context. The important distinction that defines a safe object is that it can be handled safely with appropriate containment procedures. An example of a safe object would be a gun, a nuclear weapon, or polonium.
God.
Interesting.
Yes. The next class is Euclid. An SCP object is classified as Euclid when its behavior cannot be unerringly predicted, either because the item is sentient, it behaves outside of current scientific knowledge, or its nature is simply poorly understood at present. Euclid class objects do not pose the same existential threat to humanity due to containment breach that Keter class objects do, but they still generally require more diligence to keep contained than safe class objects.
People tend to forget about the fact that Euclids are not necessarily inherently dangerous.
Yeah, that's what I saw from looking through some of these.
Yeah.
Although many Euclid class objects could be used for the benefit of the Foundation or of humanity, they may have unforeseen ramifications after their use due to their unpredictable nature. Some Euclid class SCPs are eventually understood well enough to be reclassified as safe, but most remain inscrutable even to the most rigorous of experimentation.
And Keter is a big, scary lizard that wants to eat everyone.
Yes. The designation Keter is assigned to subjects that both A, display vigorous, active hostility to human life, civilization, and/or space-time, and B, are capable of causing significant destruction in the event of a containment breach. Such subjects may be cataloged, contained accordingly to special containment procedures, and destroyed if possible. Merely being inimical to human life is not in itself cause for classification as a Keter-level object.
Amicable, I think, is what you're reading. I think. I can't see what you're reading.
INIMICAL.
It means butt sex. Keep going.
A Keter classification indicates that not only is the subject capable of inflicting devastating harm to human life and civilization, but that containment protocols must be extensive, involved, and precisely followed in order to prevent it from doing so. Research into the neutralization of Keter class SCPs is always a top priority for the Foundation. Cases where Keter class objects that can be neutralized by Foundation personnel persist in Foundation custody are rare, and are grouped into 3 main categories. In addition to cases where destruction of the object continues to be a unfeasible due to apparent invulnerability or similar circumstance. There are some Keter class objects with significant tactical value for the Foundation, as well as Keter class objects that threaten more harm to humanity from their neutralization than from their continued existence. The Foundation has harnessed some Keter class SCPs, but such situations are rare exceptions. For example, SCP-0762 only agreed to work with the Foundation due to its unusual relationship with Agent named Redacted, and its ability to communicate with us, and even that didn't last. The majority of Keter class SCPs are insentient, and most are inanimate objects. The status may change as research discovery continues. Keter means crown in Hebrew. It is the uppermost level of the Sephirot in Jewish Kabbalah.
Okay, now
Neat.
that that's all said and done, let's look at the scores of SCP-682 porn on DeviantArt. Because someone looked at the rotting carcass of I think an alligator, and thought to themselves, "Let's draw porn of that," and so that's what happened.
Of course it happened. Of course it happened.
Well, John
And
wrote
with
this.
that,
Let's not look at it.
and with that, we will see you guys next week. I'm out. Yeah, that ruins my entire day. I think that ruins my month.
You better get used to this
Or
shit,
even
man.
your year.
Things are gonna get worse before they get better. You think this is gonna ease up as time goes on? No. Remember how scary people thought Slenderman was? Oh, like a unique horror concept. It's got a mysterious figure that's out in the woods and it has no face. And then someone decided to draw him butt fucking a 12-year-old in Jeff the Killer. And that was all she wrote. And then fucking Siren Head came out. Like, oh, this is kind of a cool image. And then someone made a fucking dating sim based on that.
Yeah, Siren Head lasted for what, a week?
Nothing is allowed to be scary. In fact, I think there was an episode of fucking Arthur that kind of explored that as a thing where I don't. You know the episode I'm talking about where that character Sue Ellen is like comes up with a horrible horror story on the fly, and it freaks everyone out to where they don't want to talk to her, and so she waters it down until it's not unrecognizable anymore, because she wants them to not be as scared of her anymore. And that's what happens with horror.
Yeah.
Everything gets watered down. And it doesn't get watered down like it used to in the 90s, where it just gets played out or becomes over the top, or it kind of gets into the hands of people who want to make it more extravagant. It gets watered down because weird fucking deviant perverts want to be able to fap to it. I don't know when that happened. I don't know why it happened, but that's the life we live now. And it's going to get worse. So deal with it. That's my speech to you, Manny.
Cool.
It's the sister of Rule 34. If it exists, someone has thought, what if we tried to fuck it?
It's like that's the alternate reality of the SCP Foundation. Well, like, okay, we need to find new ways to fuck the statue. Maybe if we drill a hole
I'm
in
gonna
the
put
bottom.
my dick in it.
Well, there's no orifice on the statue, so like, what if we tried drilling a hole? We'll need a containment team. You guys keep your eyes on it so it doesn't snap your necks while I drill the hole in the back.
Help.
All right.
Like I said,
So
it doesn't
let's
end.
get
Does not
started.
end. It'll never end.
Remember, this is the serious portion of our show.
Please, I think since it was her suggestion, maybe Gemma should read.
Okay.
You want me to read?
Do it.
Cool.
Or
Okay.
else.
All right. Okay. So, this is SCP-1756. Object class safe. Special containment procedures. SCP-1756 is to be kept in a locked safe in the audiovisual wing of Site-73. A television-compatible remote control and compatible cables and power adapter are to be provided in room 346 for testing by researchers level 2 and higher. All playbacks produced by SCP-1756 are to be filmed and archived for future analysis. A complete video archive of Siskel and Ebert at the Movies and its predecessor programs is to be maintained on site for comparison of SCP-1756 recordings to existing episodes.
Testing involves SCP objects in optical disc format or any other Foundation-produced recordings shall
Hang
be
on, guys.
shall require approval from the site director. Description: SCP-1756 is a Panasonic RV31K Region 1 DVD player manufactured in 1999. Serial number redacted. SCP-1756 is externally identical to all other DVD players of its model and production date. Internal examination indicates that SCP-1756 has undergone aftermarket modification to allow it to play non-Region 1 DVDs. Attempts to replicate it, SCP-176's anomalous properties by similarly modifying standard DVD players of the same type have been unsuccessful. SCP-1756 is capable of accepting and producing its primary effect with all 12 centimeter optical discs, regardless of format or region coding, including DVD, HD DVD, Blu-ray, CD-ROM, and DVD-ROM, music CDs, and proprietary optical disc formats used in video game consoles. SCP-1756's anomalous properties manifest when it is powered on and connects to a television, and an optical disc is inserted into the disc tray and played. Instead of playing the video or audio content encoded on the disc, the television will display a recording from 6 to 11 minutes in length, appearing to be a segment from the American television program Siskel and Ebert at the Movies. In all documented cases, the recording resembles the format of the original television show, in which Chicago-based film critics Gene Siskel and Roger Ebert discuss and debate movies currently in theatrical release and offer their individual opinions about whether the film is worth seeing with a thumbs up or thumbs down gesture. Examination of the recordings indicates that the set seen therein is identical to the set used by the television series during the 1992 to 1996 seasons, and that Siskel and Ebert appear to be approximately the same age as they were during the same time period. When the disc inserted is a motion picture that was reviewed on the original series, the content of the review will be identical to the original review featured on the program. When the content of the disc is a movie not featured or released after Siskel and Ebert's deaths in 1999 and 2013 respectively, is a visual recording other than a theatrically released motion picture, e.g. television shows, news broadcasts, amateur films or home movies and video games, etc., or is not a visual recording at all, an original recording will be produced in which Siskel and Ebert review the material as if it were a theatrically released motion picture. In these reviews, the critics will speak in a manner similar to the tone affected by the critics on the original series, with Siskel often critiquing individual aspects of the content, such as animation, acting, sound quality, etc., and Ebert analysing the content from a more emotional, collective perspective. Underneath, we've got the experiment log. Do we want to read one each from the experiment log?
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Well, it kind of defeats the purpose if you don't, because this is mostly predicated on having some form of examples.
Yeah, I'll start and then whoever wants to go after. So, experiment 1756-1. Content of the disc, The Crying Game from 1992. Summary of recording. Identical in content to original series review.
Experiment 1756-3. Date redacted. Content of disc, Blade Runner, 1982. Director's Cut version, 1992. Summary of recording, similar in content to the original series review, except that neither Siskel nor Ebert make any mention of the narration by Harrison Ford, which was featured in the original theatrical release and omitted from the director's cut.
Experiment 1756-7. A date redacted. Content of the disc, Brokeback Mountain, 2005. Summary of the recording. The film receives praise from both critics, with Ebert's comments largely resembling his published 2005 review of the film, and Siskel making note of director Ang Lee's cinematography, and according to Star, Heath Ledger has a long and promising career ahead of him. Both the critics give the film a thumbs up. I can't help but wonder if that was a jab.
That's just messed up.
Yeah. It's you next, isn't it, Kenzie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Experiment 1756-17. Date redacted. Content of disc. A 1999 episode of At the Movies in which Ebert paid tribute to Gene Siskel following his death that year, including footage from Siskel's memorial service. Summary recording. While expressing confusion at why the program received a theatrical release, both critics respond favorably, while Siskel describing it as a somber and bittersweet reminder of one's own mortality, and Ebert humbly praising his own work as executive producer. Both critics agree that the body of Siskel, as seen lying in repose during the memorial service, plays the part better than Laurie Goldman. Both critics give the film a thumbs up.
Experiment 1756-21. Date redacted. Content of disc, Mass Effect, video game, 2007. Summary of recording. The game received a mixed review, as the critics spent much of the segment arguing about various points and questioning whether they watched the same movie. Siskel states that the protagonist, Commander Shepard, who he identifies as being played by Mark Meer, gives a wooden delivery of his lines and behaves more like a Boy Scout or comic book hero than a starship captain, while Ebert describes Shepard, played by Jennifer Hale, as a take-no-prisoners feminist action hero in the tradition of Sigourney Weaver, and cites her taboo romance with a feminine alien from a monogendered species as a bold move for a mainstream sci-fi flick. The critics agree that supporting actor Raphael Sbarge, who Ebert identifies as having co-starred with Hale in one of the dozens of Star Wars prequels to hit the big screen in recent years, plays fundamentally the same character as his previous role, but describe his sacrifice near the end of Act 2 as one of the film's better moments. Siskel notes that the film is planned to be the first installment of a trilogy and expresses hope that Meer will grow into the role. Siskel gives a thumbs down, Ebert gives a thumbs up.
Experiment 1756-28. Date redacted. Content of disc. 12 hours of live ABC News coverage of the September 11th, 2001 attacks on the World Trade Center.
Oh, God!
Beginning with the initial interruption of scheduled programming and ending with President George W. Bush's War on Terror nationwide address. Summary of recording. Both critics praised the verisimilitude of the film's special effects, describing it as one of the best faux documentaries since Orson Welles' War of the Worlds, 1938, marveling at the number of on-air news personnel playing themselves, Siskel finding the choice to cast Texas Governor George W. Bush as the president both interesting and unusual. Ebert praises Osama bin Laden, who he describes as the director of the film, for his bold critique of America's national defenses and satirical outlook at foreign opinions of our country, though he questions his decision to insert himself into the film as a prime suspect in organizing the attacks. Both critics give a thumbs up.
I don't know how to feel about this. Experiment 0756-36. Date redacted. Content of the disc. Frankton Comes Alive, Disc 1, music album 1976, CD Deluxe Edition 2001. Ebert describes the album as one of his favorites of all time and states that he greatly enjoys the opportunity to listen to it on digital thanks video. Although he's disappointed by the fact that the presentation ends halfway through the album, I hope that the theatrical release of the second half is pending. Siskel, in contrast, is disappointed by the lack of any concert footage or other visual accompaniment to the music, and states that he could listen to the music in the dark at home if he so desired, rather than spending money to do so at the theater. Siskel gives a thumbs up, Ebert gives a thumbs down. This feels like a step down from the fucking last one.
I have internet back.
I didn't even know you left. You fuck.
Experiment 1756-38. Date redacted. Content of disc. Classics of Literature, a 1997 Windows CD-ROM containing the text of 130 public domain novels. Summary of recording. Both critics praised the ability to hear some of the greatest novels of all time narrated by their original authors, with Siskel describing author John Milton's narration of Paradise Lost as particularly moving, and Ebert finding Victor Hugo's recitation of Les Miserables excellent, but questioning his choice to read it in English rather than his native French. Both critics questioned the running time of the film at approximately 1,600 hours. While Ebert calls it a great value for the admission price, he claims that he spent several $1,000s on concessions during the screening and apologizes to the audience for the 12-week hiatus at the movies took while he and Siskel were attending the screening. Both critics give a thumbs down, agreeing that If broken into smaller installments, the film would be more enjoyable.
Experiment 1756-41, date redacted. Content of disc, a recording of Murder on the Orient Express from 1974 as affected by SCP 1989. Summary of recording. Ebert introduced the segment as part of a recurring series on the works of Redacted, which he describes as an artistic collective that's been taking the film world by storm. Ebert praises the cinematic device of showing the altered film on a TV screen being filmed by another camera, and the digital manipulation of the original film footage to present the on-screen actors responding to the inversion of their world. Siskel praises the technical execution of the movie, but finds it unoriginal and derivative of the group's earlier work, and compares it to unfavorably to previous films by the group, such as Man Being Eaten by No Shark, Sad Man, which he described as being a 7-hour-long continuous shot of an atom bomb sitting on a pedestal, and Cheese. Siskel gives it a thumbs down. Ebert gives it a thumbs up.
So, I there's a lot to unpack here, but the greatest sentence I've heard all week being, where was it? What was it? Ebert praises Osama bin Laden. A long list of things I expected to hear today, that was not on it.
Indeed.
Kind of feels weird because, like, I know that the SCP is not formatted in a way where you necessarily have to worry about, I guess, certain story beats. And I'm kind of used to the sense of escalation when it comes to, I guess, even sci-fi and horror. So I kind of expected something like as, I guess, out there as the 12 hours of ABC footage of September 11th to come at the end. But I think it might be to its benefit that it's just dropped there as just another aspect of it, and to offset it, the next thing is just an album review.
Yeah.
What did you guys think anyway, overall, then?
I thought it was pretty interesting, actually. I kind of like it.
Yeah.
I've always admired the creativity that gets put into these SCPs that really makes each one stand out, whereas if it was just written by your average creepypasta writer, they would all be the same.
And it sucks because I know that a lot of people, when it comes to people who are fans of the SCP Foundation, I know Euclid and Keter's seems to be the most popular, and that generally dominates most of people's interest because it was, I guess, the closest thing to, I guess, traditional horror in some respects. But every now and again, like I like old school, high concept science fiction weirdness, and things like this are a breath of fresh air because you don't see it that often nowadays.
Yeah,
I think
agree.
what really attracted those kind of fans was the games that were made.
True.
When we're featuring some of the SCPs, so people go into this expecting all of them to be really scary monsters or whatever, when they're not. And in fact, most of them are not.
Bioman knows. It's just going Ebert review 9/11. No. I mean, it's true. Don't say it like that.
That's why I picked the ones for Cold Beans, because one of the things I was speaking to Manny about was I was like, I don't really want to be picking the most popular ones because everyone knows what they are.
Yeah.
I just was like, everyone knows who SCP-173 is. Everyone knows who SCP-047, like 049 is, and everything like that. And I just was like, hey, ones that people might not have heard of before. There we go. I bet they're good.
I mean, I don't know which ones those are because I didn't really know what any of them were before looking into this.
Yeah, I don't remember the numbers, but if you said, oh, it's the statue, it's the big lizard, it's the old man, whatever, I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Honestly,
that's the thing.
Oh, sorry, go on.
I was going to say, like, one of my favorite ones is one of the more popular ones, but I like the simplicity of it, and I think it's SCP-0, like, it's the one about the staircase, the never-ending staircase. I really like that
one.
Is that the one that got brought up in the Roblox creepypastas?
Yes.
That was it. Yep, that one.
I think it's one of those things that it's a story that kind of touches on a instinctual, like not fear, but I don't know how to explain it. Like I think everyone's had an instance, like maybe at the workplace or maybe at school, where at some point you're walking towards a giant building or a very large structure, and it's completely empty and maybe even dark, and you get that niggling feeling that something isn't right and that you shouldn't be there. If that makes sense. And and like, have you ever walked down a staircase, like a really long staircase in the dark, and you just feel I need to get out of this because I feel like I'm potentially in danger.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the reasons why I like that SCP so much.
And Cricket, you say you still barely understand SCP. Basically, it's
a fake organization, a fictional organization. I think it's more appropriate to say, and its primary its main objective is basically to secure, contain, protect society, which basically means they find anomalous beings, entities, items that might run the risk of potentially affecting society for the worse and containing them. And not even necessarily affecting it for the worse, also to, I guess at some points, to take items or people and contain them that might have that could be potentially be exploited by the great, people who have less than noble intentions.
Yeah.
There are some SCPs that are unabashedly like wholly good and do nothing but positive things, but they could be easily misused if they were gone to the wrong hands. So the Foundation sees fit to take it and keep it under wraps.
Someone once explained it to me as, think of it as what fiction thinks Area 51 does. I thought that was like the most layman's terms that someone has once explained it as.
Aliens.
Well, it's not just aliens, but
aliens.
And just the broadest sense of the word.
Just surplus ordered chairs.
I swear, I really think the government should have gotten in on the raiding Area 51 meme by hiring the dipshit from Ancient Aliens to greet everyone who actually went there. But yeah, I think my favorite SCP, or one of my favorite SCPs, is oddly enough another safe one, and has no risk of actually hurting or even coming close to hurting one. I don't remember the number. It's a snail that thinks it's an explorer.
That's adorable.
It's just a regular garden snail. They interview him, is oh, good to see you. Have a cup of tea and I'll tell you about my adventures in the Congo with the Mabambai tribe. And it's you're like, dude, and the researcher's you do know that that place doesn't exist and you're a snail. Well, of course it doesn't exist. They were, they ran out by industrialization.
My favorite is the sentient vending machine.
Oh, I love that. Or the endless pizza box.
Yes, I want that to be a real thing.
In other words, Annie's cause of death.
Yes.
It literally replicates any pizza you want, and it'll be from any branch if you have no self-respect and you like Little Caesars pizza, you can get Little Caesars pizza. I
remember one SCP because I remember reading because then it got really cute by saying, oh, well, some of the very safer Euclid SCPs have also received pizza. Here's some of what they've got. And I just remember one had extra cheese and stuffed crust. And I was like, yes, this is I just remember. I relate to this SCP. I don't remember what their thing was, but they're my favorite.
There was an SCP called Heart Attack on a Bun. I remember that. Or Heart Attack on a Plate. It's this, I think it's a type of food that it takes the shape of a normal food, and it's mind-bendingly, it's basically the best thing you'll ever eat, and you'll die because it's so horribly unhealthy for you, it kills you almost instantly. It has 100,000 calories.
So deep fried Oreos.
Someone someone actually tried, like, hey, you want to try this? And like, I am a fat schlub, and this is horrible even by my standards.
I've never tried deep frying an Oreo, coming from someone who comes from a country where we deep fry Mars bars and pizza.
Things in concept, like, I think are just tacky. Like, I just don't want to entertain it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That dude that managed to deep fry water, I have more respect for him than that person who invented deep fried Oreos, because the former is at least an achievement.
Yeah.
Fried Oreos.
Ew. So yeah, this story sucked, and Gemma, you have bad taste. I think that's a consensus we can come to.
Thank you, Vince.
Fun story. Once I was at an amusement park, and we bought some deep fried Oreos, and paid a friend of mine 35 cents to snort some of the powdered sugar.
Fucking what?
Oh.
How old were you? If you say anything less than 9 years old, then I lose respect for you.
I think he was 15 at the time.
And how old were you?
I was probably 15.
I was 25 at the time.
But we just kept paying him very small amounts of money to like snort random foods, like some he had to crush up first. His nose was bleeding by the end of the day.
What is wrong with you?
I made him snort that, and I kept the cocaine to myself just to be a dick.
I mean,
Bye, Kay.
okay, Kenzie, how is it my fault? Like, he did not have to say, yeah, I will do this for like 50 cents. He could have said no.
There's something called an enabler, and you fit that role.
In all due respect, I'm a firm believer. If you're dumb enough to fall for certain shit, you deserve it. I call it the fork in the socket mentality when it comes to lesson learning. You can slap that child's hand all you want to keep him from sticking the fork in the socket. Sometimes you gotta like, okay, you know what? Let me just see how this plays out. Since you're so insistent on doing this.
Yeah, you ever see that show Titus?
No.
Yes.
Yeah,
You're talking about Christopher Titus, the comedian.
Yeah.
He's one of my...
He flashes back to when he's a kid and like his dad's just sitting there watching TV, drinking beer. He's like trying to shove a fork into the socket in the wall. His mom comes in. She's like, "Oh no, sweetie, don't do that." He's like, "No, dear, son, go ahead." And just like you see the lights flash, and you hear like,
"There's a yeah, I know it hurt. You're not going to do that again, are you?"
Yeah, but you're never going to do that again, huh?
I watched. I don't always agree with Christopher Titus, but like he's a hero to me.
Oh yeah.
Like the story that guy had, the shit he went through, and the fact that he was able to come through on the other end. Like every time you think you're having a bad day, look up this guy's history and the shit he went through, and then keep complaining to see if you can.
And I also like to flashback up. Son, it's about time that I taught you how to learn how to swim. Oh, don't be a wussy. Just throws him into the lake. Yeah, that's right. Kick your legs. Get one arm after. Throws in the air tube. Or the thing. The flotation thing. It's like, yeah, just grab it.
The safety ring.
Yeah, picks up his other kid. Go save your brother.
Oh, about his...
been drowned.
There was that one episode about that friend of his who was like... He was like another stand-up comedian, but he had like a speech impediment, and he was like... Not development. He was handicapped to some degree, but he had all of his mental faculties. He just sounded a certain way, right?
Yeah.
Like they're at a restaurant, and the waiters are kind of looking at him a certain way, and so his friend was like, "Okay, you're gonna look at me like that, okay?" So he started playing up like, start throwing forks down on the ground, like, "I want a new fork. Give me a fork. I want a fork," and like starts singing all this shit. And by the end of it, the waitress was shaking. And she was looking at him like, "I'm sorry, I'm so sorry." You're like, "No, don't worry. You are my favorite waitress. I will be back here tomorrow." And then Titus was like laughing hysterically when they got outside. It's like, "Don't you think you went a little too hard?" Like, nah, she deserved it. That bitch was retarded. Go look up Christopher Titus. He's funny boy.
Yes, he is.
So are we reading any more SCPs, or are we heading on to hot beans?
What's else on this story called Zero? What is that?
Yeah, well, we are going to read 2 more SCP because
Okay.
we have one safe, one Euclid, and one Keter.
Is it Keter or Keter? Because
I've heard either or, honestly.
Yeah, me too.
It's I just say Keter because I was like, Hebrew, okay, how is that pronounced? And apparently it's Keter, but I don't really give a damn what people say.
I'm gonna go to the nearest synagogue and ask them.
Do it.
Wait,
I will.
by the way, I just want to say this right now. Do you know what you Americans get right? Funnel cakes. First time I ever tried them in like fucking Florida, I thought that was really good.
the highest honor an American can receive.
Like, we don't have funnel cakes in the UK, but I had a funnel cake when I was in Florida, and I really liked it. And I'm like, what do you do?
Florida,
Gemma, if you ever come into New Jersey, we're going to the boardwalk and we're getting you a funnel cake.
Yay!
Florida is a lot like New Vegas. Well, not New Vegas, like Las Vegas, in that it's a fun place to visit.
Yeah, I've visited there a few times. I think I've been to Florida 4 times, and we were meant to be going last year, and we were meant to be going this year, but there was some very weird thing going on that we couldn't go. You know.
Something about some nerds. I guess everyone got the cold or something. I don't know.
Something about
Yeah.
bats.
Some bats. Some
Yes.
about, I don't know. I think Korean. It's a sickness that came from, I don't know, North Korea or some shit. I don't keep up with the news.
Yeah.
All I know is I got stabbed with a needle because of it yesterday.
Fucking
Yeah.
Kim Jong-un saying, like, look, like, go, like, telling China, if anyone comes close to our border with that disease going on, we will shoot you on sight.
Isn't that just what North Korea does for any situation?
Not to Big Daddy China. And one of the weird times where they're like, hey, I don't care how much money you give us, stay the fuck away from the border.
So SCP-3008.
Okay, this is Object Class Euclid. The retail park containing SCP Leet has been purchased by the Foundation and converted into Site as Redacted. All public roads leading to or passing by Site Redacted have been redirected. Excuse me. The entrance to SCP-3008 has been monitored at all times, and no one is to enter SCP-3008 outside of testing, as permitted by the senior researcher. Humans exiting SCP, I can't read numbers out loud, are to be detained and then debriefed prior to the administration of amnestics, right, excuse me. Dependent upon the duration of their stay in SCP-3008, a cover story may be needed to generated prior to their release. Any other entities exiting SCP-3008 are to be terminated. Description: SCP-3008 is a large retail unit previously owned by and branded as IKEA, a popular furniture retail chain. Oh, is this one? The endless. I remember this one. A person entering SCP-3008 through the main entrance and then passing out sight doors will find themselves translocated to SCP-308-1. This displacement will typically go unnoticed as no change will occur from the perspective of the victim. They will not generally become aware until they try to return to the entrance. SCP-308-1 is a space resembling the inside of an IKEA furniture store, extending far beyond the limits of what could be physically contained within the dimensions of the retail unit. Current measurements indicate an area of at least 10 km is kilometers, right?
Yes.
Yep.
10 kilometers with no visible external terminators detected in any direction. Inconclusive results from the use of laser rangefinders has led to the speculation that the space may be infinite. SCP-3008-1 is inhabited by an unknown number of civilians trapped within a prior to containment Gathered data suggests that they have formed a rudimentary civilization within SCP-3008-1, including the construction of settlements and fortifications for the purpose of defending against SCP-3008-2. SCP-308-2 are humanoid entities that exist within SCP-308-1. While superficially resembling humans, they possess exaggerated and inconsistent bodily proportions, often described as being too short or too tall. Excuse me. They possess no facial features, and all observed cases wear a yellow shirt and blue trousers are consistent with the IKEA employee uniform. SCP-308-1 has a rudimentary day-night cycle determined by the overhead lighting within the space activating and deactivating at times consistent with the opening and closing times of the original retail store. During the night, quote-unquote, instances of SCP-308-2 will become violent towards all other life forms within SCP-008-1. During these bouts of violence, they have been heard to vocalize phrases in English that are typically variations of the store is closed now, please exit the building. Once day begins, SCP-308-2 instances immediately become passive and began moving through out SCP-308-1 seemingly at random. They are unresponsive to questioning or other verbal cues in this state, although will react violently if attacked. SCP-308-1 is known to have more than one exit located within, though these exits do not appear to have a fixed position, making it difficult to leave SCP-308-1 once inside. Using any other doors besides the main entrance to enter the structure or breaking through the walls of the retail unit leads to the anomalous interior of the store. Since containment began, 4 individuals have managed to exit 308. Following the extensive debriefing, the individuals have been missing amnestics then released. Incident 308-1 at 0037 on redacted, a human male exited 308, followed by 10 seconds later by the assistance of 308-2. And 308-2 caught and killed the man before itself being terminated by armed response personnel. This incident represents the only time an instance of 308-2 has been seen exited 308. A full autopsy of the corpse was performed. See 308-2 log for more details. The man was carrying an IKEA-branded journal, seeming to document his time in 308-1, transcribed below verbatim. I can't read out loud.
Yeah,
Anyone want to take over? Fuck you, Mike. Vince reads number the stream. How dare you?
Yeah, I don't think
Also, might go to pun jail.
we're going to read that out simply because of the length of it, and we've already been going for like an hour and a half now. And
I do distinctly remember enjoying the story, or this particular entry.
And we also have the stories to get to.
Yeah.
So.
I got the numbers version of dyslexia. Leave me alone. I haven't been diagnosed with it, but I decided I have it. That's my excuse for sucking at math and reading numbers.
Fair.
I don't know. I might have it. So, what is next on the agenda, boss?
SCP-354.
I was talking to Gemma. Gemma is boss. You acting like this is your channel or some shit.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm quite excited for this one.
It looks like Gaia had her period.
Yeah, so I sent this to Manny last night because it's actually one that actually did scare me when I read it the first time. Like, I was like, I'm going to read some cartoon. I'm going to watch some cartoons now after reading this one.
What'd you watch?
Can you ban the chat? Everyone's bullying me.
Oh. I can't see the chat, to be honest, because like I'm just on my phone and I can't view YouTube at the same time, or there would be an echo mind the gap situation.
Chat. Keep going.
Fuck you.
All right.
Anyway.
Kenzie now. All right. I have number SCP-354. Object class Keter. special containment procedures. Due to SCP-354's immobile nature, Area 354 has been built around it. Area 354 houses forces and D-Class personnel prepared to deal with threats emerging from SCP-354, as well as researchers studying SCP-354 and its properties. For their own safety, no on-site personnel are to approach SCP-354 at any time. Direct interaction with SCP-354 is permitted only for the purpose of research to eliminate it, and must be approved by O5 personnel. Area 354 was constructed to contain and neutralize any and all further threats emerging from SCP-354. At the heart of 354, a 20-foot wall of concrete reinforced with data expunged has been constructed around it to prevent emerging entities from escaping into the area at large. High-speed motion detection cameras are placed atop the wall looking down into the pool, and armed guards can easily shoot down into the enclosure from catwalks placed above the pool. Description: SCP-354 is a pool of red liquid discovered in northern Canada.
Fucking Canadians.
The liquid is of a consistency similar to that of human blood, hence the colloquial name blood pong, but is not of a biological nature. The pool does not have definite banks. Soil mixes with the liquid until, at a certain point, there is more soil than liquid and the ground is mostly solid. The liquid becomes denser as one descends deeper into the pool. If the pool has a bottom, it has yet to be reached. Periodically, entities emerge from the pool and attempt to escape from the enclosure. Thus far, nearly all creatures emerging from SCP-354 have been extremely hostile and highly dangerous. SCP-354 is believed to have been first discovered and redacted by survivors of a plane crash who encountered SCP-354 by chance, and developed into a local urban legend long before Foundation personnel arrived to deal with the threat. After locating the source of the legend, SCP personnel set up Watch Station Epsilon 38 to monitor the pool to deter future travelers from finding it. SCP-354 was classified as Euclid until its properties were further discovered. At 1403 hours on Redacted, a non-identified entity emerged from SCP-354. Contact with Watch Station Epsilon 38 was lost. Mobile Task Force Redacted was dispatched to deal with the entity and were eventually successful. All personnel at Watch Station Epsilon 38 were found dead. Area 354 has subsequently constructed to contain SCP-354.
Can I read this document?
Yeah.
Document 345-1A. Partial log of entities that have emerged from SCP-345 prior to Event 345-20. SCP-354-1. Original entity which destroyed Watch Station Epsilon-38. Resembled a giant bat. Neutralized by Mobile Task Force Redacted. SCP-354-2. Bear-sized mammalian. Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah.
Creature covered in razor-sharp spines. Resembled an echidna. Was virtually bulletproof, but was able to escape the enclosure surrounding the pool. Neutralized via napalm. SCP-354-3. Black metallic sphere capable of levitation. Emitted concentrated levels of radiation in precisely directed beams sufficient to instantly cripple and later result in death. Then Area Head Dr. Redacted. Struck SCP-354-3 with a sledgehammer, disabling it. SCP-354-3 then self-detonated, causing minor structural damage and severely wounding Dr. Redacted. Dr. Redacted made a full recovery and has been commended for his bravery.
I just want to say real quick that Manny, I was thinking the exact same thing, but I kept it to myself because, this is a serious endeavor right here. I think in respect to that, I'll keep my obvious joke to myself, and I think you think it's sneaky for putting in the chat, Mister? Huh? I'm confronting you.
I was just trying not to interrupt the reading.
Well, it's too late now.
Thank you, Manny.
It's all his fault. Obviously, I couldn't help but comment on it.
SCP-354-4. Humanoid reptilian creature, approximately 4.6 meters, 15 feet tall. Escaped both the walled enclosure and Area 354 altogether. Gunfire caused very little physical harm and was highly ineffective. Mobile Task Force Omega-7, Pandora's Box, was dispatched and was successful in neutralizing the creature. SCP-354-5. Data expunged. SCP-354-6. Appeared to be a human male of Indian descent. As the enclosure around the pool had not yet been fully repaired, SCP-354-6 was immediately shot before it had a chance to escape. Area Head Dr. Redacted has expressed his displeasure in the rash execution of SCP-354-6 while testing revealed to be identical to an average human being. Data corrupt.
Interesting.
SCP-354-14. Majority of creature's body remained well beneath the surface of the pool. 5 octopus-like tentacles were seen emerging from the pool and reached up over the enclosure. Several D-Class personnel were grabbed by the tentacles and pulled back beneath the surface of the pool. After receiving massive damage from gunfire, SCP-354-14 retracted back into the pool and disappeared. No personnel taken by the creature were recovered. SCP-354-15. Feline creature composed of a blue-hued crystalline structure later revealed to be ice. Was able to jump above the walled enclosure and was agile enough to dodge most gunfire. Was actively hostile and mauled any personnel that engaged it. Subject engaged SCP-354-16 upon its emergence from the pool and was terminated in the fight. SCP-354-16. Feline creature composed of a dark red black stone later revealed to be partially solidified magma. Gunfire proved mostly ineffective against its hide. While not hostile to personnel and did not attempt to escape the walled enclosure until being engaged by SCP-354-15. Successfully terminated SCP-354-15 and grew less active as its body cooled. After fully solidifying and having remained motionless since, subject was moved to Dr. Redacted's office for aesthetic purposes. SCP-354-18. Metallic humanoid machine described by several D-Class personnel as a Terminator. Subject possessed a cloaking device rendering it invisible to human eyes. Subject was highly adept at combat and killed nearly 90% of Area 354's guard personnel as it rampaged through the facility. Approximately 60 minutes after emerging from the pool, subject ceased to function and powered down. Subject was dismantled and its power cell was disposed of. Subject's remains are under study. Note from Area Head Dr. Redacted. That's thrice now that we've had to fall back on Pandora's box to deal with stuff coming out of SCP-354. Abel can't complain though. You can tell he enjoyed fighting SCP-354-11. Maybe we should set up some kind of hotline to MTF Omega-7.
There's I think there's 2 more documents, and I don't think it'll take very long to read, if that's okay, Manny, because would that be all right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool. Okay. Because they like the last one, we can there's like a talking, like we can act out essentially. All right. Note from Area Head Dr. Redacted. It has been 22 months since the last entity emerged from the pool. Before this, the longest period of time between emergencies was 8 months. I suspect this means 2 things. Either the red pool has died or powered down, or whatever the correct term for it is, or it is charging up for something big to come through. O5 believes the former is the most likely explanation, and has recalled 30% of our total personnel and cut 25% of our funding. While I can only hope that they are correct, the latter situation is true. We're soon to face some terrible monstrosity, and we won't have anywhere near the force necessary to deal with it. I worry for all of our safety. Like, document.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. For you. Like, yeah, you go.
Document 354-4, event log 354-20. In the morning of that expunge, the entire staff of Area 354 evacuated the facility. However, the staff also shut down power to the area and took a number of supplies and vehicles from the facility, indicating that the evacuation had not been done due to emergency. Well, Mobile Task Force Theta 12 was dispatched to investigate the cause of the evacuation and, if possible, make contact with the area's staff. However, before Mobile Task Force 012 could make contact with Area 354 or its evacuees, the area's on-site warhead was detonated, resulting in the destruction of the entire facility and the deaths of that expunge. Mobile Task Force Omega 12 was ordered to make contact with the evacuated personnel, and in the event of hostility, was given clearance to terminate any uncooperative personnel. A large convoy of vehicles taken to the area from Area 354 was spotted heading southward towards Area 354 at high speed. Final audio logs from Mobile Task Force 012 indicate that the convoy was made up of the area staff, and that previous chain of command had broken down in its entirety, with armed D-class personnel and research personnel firing upon Mobile Task Force 012. Mobile Task Force 012 was annihilated, and no further contact with the former personnel of Area 354 has been made ever since. Document 354-5. Following the total destruction of Area 354, the Red Pool containment site was constructed in its place. Basic maps of the new facility could be found in Redacted and Redacted. Unlike the previous facility, which was focused on research and neutralization of the entities emerging from SCP-354, the new facility was devoted entirely to the containment of SCP-354 and the entities which may emerge from it, as well as the unforeseen forces which it may create directly. This is largely due to the advisement of the new site head, that expunged, who believes that the events of log 354-20 were the result of psychic or mental attack generated by SCP-354 itself.
All right, who wants to be the doctor and who wants to be the agent?
Can I be the doctor?
Cool.
Is it all right if I record this?
Yes, go ahead.
Good. So let's start at the beginning. What happened at the Red Pool containment site?
Looking back now, it seems strange that nobody ever suggested draining the pool. When Doctor came up with it, it seemed like such a good idea at the time.
Exactly what about the idea was so appealing?
It was a way out. That SCP entry, I've read what it says. It's a choke. It makes it seem like we have the pool under control.
I take it you do not?
There's a half-meter slab of reinforced concrete in place over the pool. Yet every time some beast tries to come through, somehow it manages to get loose into the building. People die. Every single time. I've seen data expunged. A man's own intestines. Can you imagine what that looks like, old man?
So do you, of course, to the other people stationed at the Red Pool containment site as well. Draining the pool seemed like a fine solution to the suffering caused by SCP-354.
Suffering? That thing doesn't just...
Please sit down. This is going on record. So, O5 approved the draining of SCP-354, and then what happened?
They evacuated the non-essential personnel to a location a couple kilometers away, leaving just a basic defense crew and people who run the equipment. Mostly D-class plus a few agents to keep things going.
And you were among those agents.
Yes.
How'd they go about draining the pool?
Well, tech guys brought in this big pump thing with all these hoses. We retracted the slab, but
But
Have you ever had a dream where it seemed so real, but you knew you were dreaming, and it felt like you had to wake up to escape from it?
I can't say I have.
Yes, you have. We all have. That's what it felt like when they put the hose in to try and drain it. Everything stopped being real. It was like we had to escape right now.
And you were the only one feeling this sensation?
No. Everyone had it at the same time. It came from the fucking pool.
Please, lower your voice. What happened when they activated the pump?
We never did. We couldn't. It wouldn't let us.
What wouldn't let you?
The pool!
Please, I ask you to lower your voice.
Up until now, it's been content just throwing monsters at us. It's been playing. But now we have it locked up. We just tried to evacuate, to execute it. Now it's angry.
Guards, please restrain agent.
My buddy measured its bank once and compared them to the photos from its first discovery. You know what he found?
Guards?
It's growing. The pool is growing. It gets bigger and stronger every day, and now we've made it angry. Get your hands off!
Sedate him. We'll continue this in the morning. If he's lucid by then, anyway.
This was pretty cool.
Yeah, I really like
Yeah, this is one of the more cooler ones, definitely.
Told you.
I also
We
kind
didn't
of like.
doubt you.
I mean, we already it already alluded to the potential, like the fact that the entities coming out of the pool seem to be generally adapting as time went on, and also like that ending twist. I guess. Well, I don't know if it was a necessarily twist, where he kind of alludes to the idea that the pool was just fucking around with them. It wasn't actually all that concerned with killing them as like aggressively.
Yeah.
And you kind of get that hint towards that, where it's like it seemed like just be experimenting, like, oh, let me try a fucking cat thing made out of molten lava next. Why not? Fuck it.
Yeah.
Well, and here's a Terminator.
And then once you actually tried to kill him, okay, fine. Kid gloves are off, bitch.
Yeah, either that or, like... Actually, I'm sorry, I don't remember what I was going to say.
Oh, so I talked over you. Sorry about that.
No, that's happened to me a lot today.
I've been like that today as well, to be honest.
That
What
is
I like,
a really good thing.
sorry, what I liked about it, like in general, was, well, I kind of had the best sort of atmosphere for reading it when I did. I was like, I couldn't sleep. It was like 3 o'clock, like 4 o'clock in the morning, really dark out. I'm sitting
Them's
here
the
reading,
witching
like,
hour.
yeah, and I'm just, of course, it's when NNA Productions and J Station come out to play, and and just reading that and just like getting to the end, and I'm just like, oh, that's terrifying. So I'm like, I'm gonna put the TV on now, so I'm not going to sleep.
Right. Yeah, I really like the kind of eldritch locations. One of my favorites in terms of being scary was, I think it was a theme park that likes to kidnap children.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I read that one.
I remember that one too.
It's fucking terrifying, especially if you're a parent. Which
Yeah,
I'm not, but
Yeah.
I am an aunt.
One of the
Okay,
things I kind of retained about this was the thought, because like the one, that guy that proposed, like, it's been quiet for some time now, like either powered down or getting ready to send something big, and I don't think we ever got like that big thing, and
Yeah.
that's a very chilling thought, that it's rearing up to send something through the portal, the pool.
Mhm.
That's going to be so bad that nothing they do will be able to. It's basically going to make the fucking indestructible reptile look like a child.
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Although, I can I comment on one thing, and it was a very brief moment, and it's not that big a deal, and it wasn't even all that pertinent to this, but the character Abel, which is another SCP, and maybe it's just. maybe it's just me. I never liked. I don't like the idea of being like characterization when it comes to, if that makes any sense. Like I like the idea of the SCP Foundation being kind of cold and utilitarian and very dry. And
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons why I hated the original Dr. Clef. I despise Dr. Clef.
Yeah, I've listened to a bunch of the kind of the narrators sort of like being the characters, and I'm just like, stop doing that.
Yeah.
There was one who I think I can't remember what her name was, but she played someone who was like this super badass person who was part of a mobile task force who was talking about the SCPs, and it
Was that
made me
Miss
roll my
Shadowrun?
eyes so hard. Yeah, it made me roll my fucking eyes.
Yeah, she was in the Mr. Creepypasta camp. I think she was dating Creepypasta Junior
Jeez.
at one point.
I understand the appeal, like the whole. I think someone said it best. I think it was about Mad Max, where everyone said, "Oh, everyone wants like Mad Max to happen so they can be like the Road Warrior." And it's like, and I remember who said it, but you won't be the Road Warrior. That shit goes down. You're gonna be that guy who's tied to the hood of the car.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the kind of SCP shit. It's like everyone wants to have a character who's like a badass or something like that. It's like how I would handle this shit. And it's like, no, you'll probably be just a person that gets murdered horribly.
Yeah.
This is not the kind of format where you can live vicariously through the world that's established.
Yeah, actually, I did something like that to a friend of mine. Like, she was saying, like, oh, if I lived in medieval times, I would do this. And I was like, no, you would be a peasant dying at the age of 12.
Yeah.
And you act like you would, like, as you said, it was a she, right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't have, like, it would be completely out of your hands. Like, I would do, no, the fuck, you would do whatever your fucking man told you to, because that was your rights back then.
Okay, well, you see, I don't want to get into, like, a hot topics, but she was like, oh, if I lived back in medieval times, I would be, like, starting a feminist uprising.
Yeah, good luck with that. Good fucking luck with that.
It's like,
Yeah, you'd be burned at the stake.
it's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Are you? People are fucking stupid. Like, and again, like to bring it back home. That's one of the reasons why I can't stand. I don't like characters like Abel or like I said, Dr. Clef. Dr. Clef was he's been rewritten to just be a regular guy, but there was a point where I don't know if anyone remembers this. Dr. Clef used to be presented as like this badass katana wielding dude who his face couldn't be measured with. It couldn't be recorded with cameras. It'll be like a random animal face every time. And he was known for putting down overpowered, like self-insert, like kind of Mary Sue stories. And it took them a long time to realize, like, oh wait, our character's kind of a Gary Stu too. And it's like, yeah, and it doesn't fit, and that's why I'm glad they got rid of him.
I kind of admire that though. Like, you create a Gary Stu to take down the other Mary Sue Gary Stu characters specifically.
I think you can rectify that by just having a good writing, like have some kind of thing where the Foundation collectively finds a way to neutralize these things. Like that would be. That's what I hate this idea where it's like we invented this. We made a problem to get rid of a slightly bigger problem. Like when it comes to writing, you can do anything. You just need to be a good writer. I'm not saying that I could do better because I'm not a good writer myself, but I'm just. I don't like people taking the easy way out.
I agree. Oh, but actually, another instance of that same friend of mine saying, like if she lived in another time, she's like, if I lived in the time of Mary Shelley, I don't think she and I would be friends. Her outlook on life was far too dark and grim. I was like, no, you would see things just like she did, because you'd be a fucking peasant living in the gutter in London, begging for meals.
What are you talking about? Like, she was kind of a downer. Like, fucking, like, oh, wow, I don't know where my next meal's coming in. Look, come on, guys, come on. Life sucks. Get over it. Oh, Gemma's got to go.
Yeah, real quick. Yeah, Gemma, thanks for coming on. I hope you can join us next week.
Hi, Gemma.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you
I was
for
like-
allowing us to read these stories.
Yes,
or these
and thank you
entries.
for finding them.
No worries. Yeah, sorry, I've just realized time and I'm just like, I should probably get to bed. I've got to take Logan to school in the morning. So
Oh, one last thing before you go. Am I the
Yes.
only one, after reading Northern Canada, thought of, hello, shut up. I'm reporting from the worst country in the world, Canada.
yes, it's like because I'm here with Tits McGee.
I'm kind of out of the loop on that one.
Oh, Probe will send you it or Manny will send it to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Good night, Gemma.
Good night.
Oh, take it
Bye.
easy.
Yeah, bye, Vince.
All right, so now we're getting on to the hot beans.
Man, what a
Huzzah.
bitch. What a bitch, right, guys?
No.
Now
I
it's
mean,
time for the cool part of the stream. Damn it.
Yeah, it's one of those moments like, I mean, we're all thinking it, right? What? No? Just me? Okay, yeah.
It only just occurred to me, I don't talk to Gemma that often.
Odd.
Then again, I haven't talked to Jacob in a long time. Well, aside of just messaging him.
Yeah.
Too busy,
Hey,
like, not...
He's
I've got work and family to worry about. What's more important, that or your internet friends?
Okay.
So what are we covering now? It's something called Zero?
First I'm getting some, a couple more people in here.
Zero punctuation?
Oh, shit. Here we go. Okay, there we go.
Bioman.
Shut up, guys. I'm
My
trying to
mortal
juggle.
enemy and Dino.
All right, so yeah, we have lovely Cricket, the real Bioman, and Raptor Rex joining us now.
There's lots of us here now.
Yes.
Is it the first time we've had 6 people in a stream?
Yes.
Probably.
And I just put the link for our first story in the chat there.
Oh god, no.
Wait.
Fucking... Of course, I'll see a fucking Slenderman symbol.
Oh, do you guys like those stories you just read, huh? Well, prepare for this, because you're not gonna like these at all.
Excellent.
Oh,
I see Jeff the Kill icon.
Yeah, no, this is gonna be the worst.
I have my booze.
I have my booze too.
I should not be given power like this.
Bioman, I have one...
But you have money, so...
I have one
I
question.
think I need to drink fast.
Yes.
Oh.
Ask
I
away.
have one question for you, tough guy.
Oh, it's a Wattpad.
If Roy Jones Jr. is so great, why is he avoiding Francis Ngannou? Huh, punk?
What'd you say? I can't hear you. But fucking.
If fucking John Jones is all that great, why is he afraid to fight Ngannou?
Because this. He'll pop for steroids before. He's gotta wait for it to flush out, man.
Okay,
Have you seen him at heavyweight? The dude's clearly pissing hot.
Just go and get body already.
Let me catch up on some comments here. Hello, Iguana Boy. Yeah, Cope says, the worst country ever, Canada. Imagine being a worse version of France. Yeah, this
No.
sucks so hard, even the wildlife commits suicide.
Jesus.
Oh, by the way, Vince, before everything starts, you watching the fight night this week?
What's the card?
Gan versus Volkov. It's the giant
Ooh.
Russian dude versus the giant French dude.
I like Volkov, but people need to stop fun. Oh, well, he knocked out Alistair Overeem. Like, yeah. So it's like when,
that was the one fight card in the last year that I've missed because I didn't want to see Alistair get fucking destroyed.
and like I remember, like Tai Tuivasa was like on a losing streak.
Yeah.
And like, and then he like got a victory recently. Like, oh, well, who was it against? Like, oh, it was Steven Struve. Like, oh.
Oh, that sucks.
Oh, well, I
You
guess.
like wrestling?
It says it wrestling.
I don't know about wrestling.
I love wrestling.
Women.
Wrestling, boxing, and MMA are the only things I watch.
The only good sports in the world.
Aren't they all wrestling?
No, shut up. I'll throw you in the sun.
That boxer.
The same.
Who's that boxer?
I think that's wrestling.
Who's that boxer? His name's Hulk Hogan, right? He's a boxer.
Hey, did you see Anderson Silva?
My favorite one.
Yeah, Anderson Silva beat a former heavyweight champion in boxing. That was
Yes. Apparently, he beat him bad too. He beat the shit out of him.
Although people need he beat. I saw he beat Cesar Chavez. Like fucking what? Like Cesar Chavez Jr. Oh, that's still impressive.
Yeah, what did he say? All right, sorry, let's get into it.
Yeah, so we'll do each person reads.
Oh my god, this is so long.
It's so
like
bad.
My penis. But we'll each read 3 paragraphs. I will start, and then Bioman, since you requested it, you can go after me.
Yay.
Then who's
Who
next?
goes next?
I'll go next.
It's me. I'm next.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wattpad Wednesdays here on Beam Daddy Mandela's channel.
Okay.
Welcome to the crossover episode no one wanted.
All right, so me, Bioman, Kenzie. Who's after?
Give Vincent.
Aww.
Okay.
Me.
I don't mind sitting in the back of the bus on this one.
All right, well, okay, so me, Bioman, Kenzie, Cricket, then Raptor, and then... God damn it, I just noticed what you said, Vince. If after...
Get it?
If
Because
you
he's
wanna,
black.
If you want to contribute after Raptor, you're free to.
Hold on, I'm gonna go get a beer.
All right.
I'm gonna get some
Oh,
more.
I already got mine.
Should we maybe limit it to 2 paragraphs since there's so many of us?
That's definitely true.
I'm
There's a lot
still
of us
juggling
here.
while I'm getting it, by the way.
I'm going to stick with 3 only because of how long this is.
Alright.
So far away.
Even
All
tell
right.
what paragraphs are. It's just
Yeah.
one big block of text.
Oh, God.
It's not easy.
Can I just say, Bioman, and Vin, because he did this on his channel too. I hate what this is doing to my computer because now I have a recommendation. You'll also like Go to Sleep, the Jeff the Killer origin story, some bullshit.
God damn.
Death
All right,
is-
so
Cricket, mute please, we can hear shit going on in the background.
Cricket, Jesus.
What is that?
Cricket's beating someone in his fucking his room.
My bird decided to be as loud as he possibly can be.
Cricket's
Okay.
beating his wife.
so
But unheard
let's,
violence. How horrible.
Girl, stop that!
Goodness me.
okay, so let's start off by just saying, look at that fucking picture.
You're talking about
No,
the
I'm
fucking...
gonna- say
Oh,
it.
the 0 one? Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's the worst, isn't it?
Like, which picture? The stupid fucking author avatar right there?
No, the one I have on the
no.
channel right now.
Oh god, that's even worse.
Yeah, it is, boys. You don't know. You don't know what's coming.
Like this.
Cricket.
Wait, what?
Oh,
Cricket, you're
What is this for,
ripping
shit?
my ears out.
Wait.
Okay, what is this thing?
It looks like female Laughing Jack, I guess.
It's not. Don't worry. It's worse.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, you say don't worry, then you tell me it's worse.
Well,
That's
do
when
worry,
Jane the
but
killer.
like, no, it's worse than that too.
Manny, why did you have to show us
That's when
this?
eyeless
Because
Jane
the father, if I have to see it, you have to see
the killer.
I-
No,
I
wait,
hate the way
that's when
the
Eyeless
effect
Tiki
of
Jane the killer.
I hate the effect of the scarf. It looks like a raccoon tail, which
Hang
makes
on,
me just
hang on.
automatically think of furries. Why would you do that?
This
Alright,
is gonna be so much fun.
So here we go. 0. A young girl with caramel. Okay, right off the bat. Not caramel. Caramel colored hair and green eyes sits in her front lawn. The warm summer sun beating on her pale skin covered in bruises. What the fuck?
It's caramel, not caramel. You
That's
fucking
what I
idiot.
just said.
Wait.
There's-
There's a difference between those words? I thought they were just
Yes.
interchangeable.
No.
Her hair.
Caramel has another A in it. The right way to spell it.
Her hair, the same color as the city within Indiana.
Let me make
look.
something. Let me make something perfectly clear. This because you lot all how many people are on a call right now? This is your. You don't wade into this shit like I do. You better fucking loosen up your expectations. If this is what you get hang up on Wattpad, you won't survive here. So you better loosen the fuck up.
Oh, this is gonna be fun. I've read this story at least 6 times. It's good to hear
Okay.
you motherfuckers read it.
Okay, Cricket, take your time. Okay, yeah, her pale skin covered in bruises. Jesus Christ. To think, the sweet young girl was being violently hit by her peers just hours before. What
Okay,
the
genuine
fuck?
question. And I know this is terrible, but here's the thing. Why should we care?
Well, let's
Because
We
find
know
out.
nothing about this bitch.
I read that.
Alice was her name. Dolomite was my name.
I literally read that she was being violently hit on by her peers as well. I mean that does sound horrifying, to be fair.
She was being catcalled by her peers.
Violently.
They materialized words that came out of their mouth and like throw them at her.
Like, bitch! She was literally being catcalled. Like, they're just yelling, hey, you! And, like, throwing rabid cats at her.
Feral cats.
The story takes place in Romania.
It takes place on Crete.
Oh, you mean where
Is that
Teresa
better?
moved all the Jews to? Yes, that's better.
Yes, the
Yeah.
place, the second Exodus.
Alright. Alice was her name. She was a kind and intelligent girl, I doubt that, but didn't seem to have many friends. So she often spent
So
time
you thought
alone
like
creating
this.
her own friends. Imaginary friends, if you will. Okay, I just gotta say, like, that's a big cliche I've noticed throughout my life. It's like, oh, well, I'm not very popular, but that means I'm intelligent, but then they turn out to be absolutely retarded.
Oh no, this character.
Like, can we at least subvert expectations? Like, I know, I get it. I get that this is supposed to be like a self-insert power fantasy or some stupid shit, and you're not going to describe yourself as being like physically
retarded.
unattractive, but subvert expectations a little bit, where it's like someone who like looks kind of ugly and like was overweight, and that's why they get picked on.
I have a face full of zits.
Yeah, something
I'm
that
lonely,
makes them
and
I'm
easy
lonely.
target.
370 pounds.
Yeah, see, like,
But it's
Very
all-
not intelligent.
It's always
Have a
the same
lazy eye.
shit. It's always the same shit where it's like, oh, she was so beautiful and talented and smart and all this shit, but for some reason, I guess the kids just picked on her
For
because
no reason.
like a
Just-
fucking Life is
Yeah.
Strange villain.
I never saw a worse example of that though than Silent Sonya.
Her kids are kind of
God.
shit.
Yeah, everyone
Silence,
bullied her because she sang
She gets
too well.
They should have bullied her because her family was a fucking disaster.
Because
Okay.
her mom and her dad and her brother were boning.
Okay, I just have to bring up one line from that story, though.
Yeah, that's Dad's job, not mine.
Clean
Like
brother
the-
from your teeth.
The one line that just shows how out of touch with reality that author is. It's like, the guy's like, Sonia Worthy? You mean the one with the voice of a siren? No one fucking talks like that.
By the way, guys, I want to point this out. That story, Silent Sonia, was originally reviewed before Bad Creepypasta got to it. The video that was reviewed it was deleted, apparently.
Oh.
Is that
But
right?
that's why when they actually go on the DeviantArt and like look into the comments and stuff, that's why there are people being negative.
Yeah.
Beforehand, there was no one being negative about it until someone pointed it out that all of it was terrible.
And I actually looked recently.
People.
This has now been deleted, but for years she's like, oh well, I'm going back and rewriting it. She posted her the first entry of her rewrite. It was almost word for word the same, except she just added a bunch of ellipses. She's like, yeah, it's much more mature and dramatic now. It's like, no, you just added ellipses. This is just the same thing. You think, oh, dramatic pauses. No, it's still retarded.
I hate when stories when they have characters speak as if they're authors, like they're writing a book themselves.
Yeah.
Not naturally, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Especially
they all
most
talk
of them.
poetically.
Like that doesn't make
Yeah,
sense.
lots of stories do that, and I hate that so much. People do not say fancy things like what Bioman just said, or sirens and stuff, describing stuff like that.
I did not mean to push you down the stairs.
Yeah.
Except I
Okay.
did, you shit.
I will say one last thing about Silent Sonia, and then we gotta get back to this shit.
We gotta get back to Zero.
Is the character at the end, Diana? Just the way that name is spelled, so specific, her photography club and everything. It's like that is a real person with whom you do not get along. You just threw her in there to be like, oh yeah, I killed that bitch in my dreams.
Diana.
Jacob,
Dirty
I
Diana.
am sorry. I didn't mean to kill Diana and
Yeah,
hurt you.
Yeah, that's
What?
right.
Okay,
For little brother Jacob, I immediately hate this story.
Alright, back to Zero, let's go.
Okay.
Jacob,
She had
I'm
so
sorry.
many of these friends.
Fuck
In fact, she had to name them all numbers just to keep track.
Oh,
Out of them all, there was one
Same.
that stood out in particular. Her name was Zero. I'm sorry, I'm just
Zero.
picturing.
I am sorry.
I didn't mean to
I'm
push you
just-
down the stairs.
I'm just picturing a blonde-haired android in red armor with a laser sword.
See, I could have made that joke too, but again, I exercised some
standards.
restraint.
God,
She
I
was the
love
very-
I'm just
Zero back
imagining,
Yes,
10 years
Zero's-
ago.
Zero's awesome.
There
I'm
was
just
a way.
imagining the numbers from
My
that
first
one
loves.
BBC children's show about the talking numbers. What do you call it again? The number buddies or some shit. That's where the
Something like
Pinos
that.
meme came from.
See, you're thinking that. I'm thinking that her imaginary friends were basically the little tiny android people from that movie 9.
Oh God,
Oh yeah.
Anyone
Love
remember
Nine.
that movie?
Yes,
I do.
No,
I forgot about it until you mentioned.
I don't watch movies ever.
I like
Nine.
I
mine.
never seen enough. I never
Me
seen a
too.
film in my life.
It's
Stop
fun. It's a
saying
fun
that.
film.
Coward.
It's true.
Yes, you have.
But then you tell us about movies
My
that
favorite
you
You've
one.
watch.
seen
Who
Batman.
does the drawing?
You've clearly
I don't
seen
watch
Batman
anything in real
Forever.
life. I don't watch anything unless it has a word learning.
Jeez. Okay, continue.
Okay. She was the very first of Alice's imaginary friends, created to protect Alice from all of her bullies. I'm sure that
Clearly not doing a good job.
it's like someone grabs her and pulls their fist back. Go ahead,
Fun.
try it. Zero won't let you.
She just gets the shit kicked out of her.
It is okay, this spits on it. Okay, this is just a part of Zero's elaborate plan to defend me.
I was imagining her imaginary friends don't even like her. They're while she's getting the shit kicked out of her, they're sitting in the corner playing cards or something.
Wait,
So they
that
start
reminds me of an
beating her
ICP
up.
song.
She
That was a plot of an ICP song, basically.
This reminds me of fucking. There was a Calvin Hobbes bit where he had a bully, and the bully was like, oh, I got a tiger, and he'll attack you. And the bully was actually so weirded out that Calvin was bringing his stuffed animal. He's like, okay, I'm walking away now.
Either that or she's like Limpo from Kung Pao Enter the Fist. Zero taught her, oh, you're bleeding. That means you win.
It's called a moral victory.
Yeah,
Twist.
yeah, you will amaze them with your face
He is an
fist
idiot.
attack.
Kung Fu Fist.
Face to foot style. How do you like it?
Kung Fu Fist.
He's quite been
Had that one strange, funny
we treated
movie.
them wrong as a joke.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to watch that.
We're never
50%
gonna get through this story.
It's hilarious. Okay,
I'd
now,
say 50%.
we
50%
got.
of Kung Pao is great, and the other 50% has not aged well.
I agree.
Oh,
All right, but yeah, we gotta cut back on our interruptions.
Funny.
We gotta
here.
go, boys. There's a lot to go.
Yeah.
Are we done with our
Let's
chronic
go.
stupidity?
No.
Never.
never.
Whenever they would tease or physically beat her, Zero was there to take care of them. They were best friends and spent every day together, telling
did a
her
good job.
stories, jokes, and even make fun of Alice's neighbor who was in charge of watching her when her parents had to go out on business. Fucking commas, please. Life wasn't so lonely for Alice. Until that day.
That's way too many dots.
Oh,
Okay.
what's gonna
Oh, wait,
happen?
we're back to present now. As Alice sat on the soft grass, looking down onto the street, she felt a strange sensation, an urge. Something in the back of her mind was telling her to go to the
it's
other
coming.
side of the road. Was she a chicken? When the idea finally consumed her, she skipped down.
Of course she skipped. Fucking,
small.
How old is she?
she's
What
like,
the fuck?
Wait,
of course she skipped like a
her,
fucking.
she skipped down to the small neighborhood street.
That makes sense. Come on.
Her bare feet hit the hot
I never
concrete.
skipped once.
Concrete? I don't know if you have ever been on a street.
Yeah, it's
But
usually
streets are
asphalt.
usually not concrete.
They're asphalt, yeah.
Carefully watching each step as she crossed. When she looked up, she saw something come towards her. A large
No.
white truck.
It's Truck Sama. Being driven by Dio.
How did you miss this?
No,
You know, you
it's
just
a pedophile.
you completely ignored the giant truck barreling towards you.
Kill the
Ooh,
lolicon.
shiny red ball.
Kill it.
Eyes wide with horror, she stood there in shock, bracing for impact. Or just continue skipping. Even that's faster than walking.
Just run, little child.
A loud screech of rubber against concrete. Okay, so it says against concrete. I'm assuming that the truck driver is actually wrong here. He's driving on the sidewalk.
Yeah, no.
What
it
did
was
it
in
say?
GTA. It's like the story said in GTA. They were
Nah.
they were driving down the sidewalk.
It's the fucking gun truck from
I
Summer
vote
Adventure
for
2.
Oh, God.
Just taking up the entire street.
The vehicle spun
Please.
past her, tumbling down the large hill opposite of her
The
home.
fucking barrel rolled down.
Like, no Puda movies. I'm out
She
of
heard
here.
the crunching of metal and a woman's screams as it. Okay, so it's the demon clown now. Kept rolling until it hit a large tree at the base. Only a moment later, the dismantled vehicle burst into flames, smoke climbing the side of the tree. Okay, I know I said we had to cut back on interruptions here, but
This is fun.
like driving down the highway just last week, I saw a gasoline truck that had been tipped over on its side and hit the guardrail. That there was not even any flames. It's like, why do all these stories like, oh, it fell over and exploded?
Well, Manny,
Because
clearly
it
they
does
have
it in the movies. Movies wouldn't lie to me.
Manny. Clearly, this is a high-tech new type of car that runs exclusively on nitroglycerin.
It's like
Maybe
it's one
this
of
Pretty
oil
those,
sure
in
it's
it.
not electric. It's
It's
nitro
just-
goes
Maybe
it's
this,
a, it's
maybe
one
like
of
carrying
those,
oil and someone was smoking on it.
Oh, no. It's one of them Fallout cars. It's nuclear powered and it just exploded.
The fucking nuke just went off.
Or I
The
could just go
reason
with
we
my
keep
Miniature
the
mushroom
reason we
clouds.
keep interrupting is because anything is better than this.
crew.
Oh, it's gonna get so much better. Don't worry.
Or I can just go with my usual explanation.
You
Like,
mean worse, Bioman. You mean worse.
Yes, I do.
like things operate like they do in Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Like if you just drop something slightly hard, it explodes.
If
Michael Bay
explodium.
films.
Yes.
Explodium.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, what you didn't
When
she
are the
didn't
Black
know
Hawk
that
helicopters coming in?
what she didn't know was the fucking truck was a transformer.
God no.
Just fucking exploded.
Alice's pale eyes stared down at the tragedy as the
Pale?
driver's door opened and someone fell out, desperately crawling, grabbing at the forest floor. Oh shit! I actually forgot. We should be checking the chat every now and then. I'm sorry, guys.
Driver's door, as in
Yeah.
multiple doors.
Cameron.
Yeah,
With
as,
my mortal enemy.
Maybe that's why they
We're
fucking
gonna
crash. Is
fight
because
at the end of the chat.
since
Watch
there's
out for
multiple-
that.
Yes, we will, obviously.
Since there's apparently multiple
Yes.
drivers' doors, that means there are multiple drivers, so they're all trying to steer at once, like Twitch plays Pokemon.
Okay, so it's the gun truck, but think what was his face? The clown from Twisted Metal.
Needles King.
Instead of his face though, it's its face on the front of the gun truck. And, that's fitting because now the door opens and it's like a clown car, just driver after driver comes popping out.
It's like the fucking truck from Maximum Overdrive, where it's just like the Green Goblin's face.
Yeah, and I'm not going to play the song because I don't want to get any strikes or anything, but I just want everyone else, like me, to imagine all of this with the Benny Hill theme playing.
I never heard it.
Oh, you
I
got
don't want to imagine it at all.
Wait.
Gonna sing it now.
Keep reading.
Still get
Like,
popped with
okay.
truck fur.
I'm kind of confused what happens next.
Wait.
No,
Alice's
continue.
father stared up the hill at his loving daughter, covered in his own crimson blood and bright red flames. Was it her dad in the truck?
I guess
Yes,
so.
it was.
God,
Also,
Also,
I don't think you know what fire looks like.
Yeah, fire is
Fire is
I'm
a
just-
friend.
I love that for some reason, like, I've got the brand new giant fucking truck. I can't wait to go back home and show. Why is he in the room?
He was only
Evasive
2
maneuvers.
days till retirement.
Evasive
No,
maneuvers.
this became like the freaking Mustafa scene from Revenge of the Sith. You were the chosen one. You were supposed to destroy my imaginary friends, not become one of them.
We are never getting over this.
damn.
I love the fact that it describes the truck as rolling, like it fucking rolled downhill. All I can imagine is fucking Palpatine from Revenge of the Sith just spinning in midair.
Why were they driving so fucking? Like, have you seen? Like the only time
Were they
I've-
driving
It
past
appears
their
your
house?
days are numbered, my
the
little green friend.
The only time I've ever seen a car, like a truck going, especially a truck apparently of that size going that fast, was on the highway. This is a normal neighborhood. Why the fuck were they driving that fast? Unless it was to try and hit the girl. And they're like, there's a man they were like trying to run to see if a child they can run over. Like, oh fuck, that's our daughter.
Yeah.
Also,
all I can imagine is like this guy's having a Johnny Bravo moment. Oh yeah, I got my new truck. Great. This is the kind of day where nothing could go wrong. Whoa, no!
Also, I'd like to point out that they were speeding that fast in front of their house. Like, what?
Yeah.
Or you going past your house, like
It's
through
just
the
like-
suburbs?
It's just like Pet Cemetery, like they live right by the highway. The truck's just so
Bioman, do you
odd.
mind if we save Rap Rat till next week?
Yeah, we can say
Yeah.
rap rental.
Yeah,
They were
we're going to have to at this
Rap-
rate.
I need.
Rap
I won't be able to
Last
come,
day.
but I will enjoy watching you guys suffer.
Look, they were just really.
This is your
fucking
boy
excited.
Rap speaking.
I love
yo.
suffering.
Just continue. Let's keep going. Barrel
Okay.
through this.
He screamed but couldn't move. His leg caught between the wheel and the metal, pain flowing through his body before his screams were silenced and he stopped moving. As the somehow red flames consumed the seat, she saw someone in the passenger seat. Her loving mother. Oh wait, I do have to stop and ask who wants to voice this girl.
I will.
I will.
Kenzie. No, Vince, please.
Me,
Yes.
me, please, me.
No, Vince
I want
has
to beat the girl.
Vince, do your
but
deepest,
wait.
do the deepest voice you can possibly do.
I have a voice of mine. Don't worry. I
You
got
can
this.
do Jane.
Oh no!
Okay.
Oh no!
Lebowski, though.
Don't worry
Okay,
about it. Don't worry
Raptor,
about
don't
it.
worry. You will get the next character.
Yay.
All right. Her own loving mother, burning to death in the flames. Alice fell to her knees, warm tears flowing down her cheeks, her nose dripping down her chin.
What the fuck?
Thing.
I was like fucking Michael Jackson.
Nah.
What the
Her nose dripping down her chin.
I don't want
How have I never noticed that
Guys,
one?
guys, no, you're ignorant.
Fuck you.
She's a clay face. She's
It's the role of a lifetime.
Maybe the fire is causing her nose to melt.
Oh, holy shit! Mommy, Daddy!
She screamed, witnessing everything in horrific detail. Grief and sorrow filled her entire body, replaying the scene over and over in her head. Well, I mean, it's happening right in front of her. She doesn't really play it.
Stop with this red flames and
red flames are not red.
and stop saying unless
She
okay
already
to just
described it
say
as
flames
crimson.
and
She doesn't
blood.
need to describe it. She already described it as crimson. You don't need to do it again. That's getting repetitive.
She's
We
described
know
it
what
as
color
red
blood
5
is.
times.
Yeah, it's like, what do you? Does she think we're going to assume that these people are aliens and have like green blood or something?
Oh, it's fucking ninja.
All right, I'm not even gonna say it. Flames and blood was the last thing she saw of her parents on that warm summer day.
Okay,
Oh
it's my turn.
Oh my
Oh
god!
my god.
Oh, my turn.
Oh my.
I can't believe what it says in this sentence.
After her parent... Oh, it's my turn, guys, right? Three paragraphs?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yes.
read on, excuse me. I read ahead too quickly. Forgive me.
After her parents' accident, her neighbor, Mr. Rogers, took her in out
Day
of
in
guilt.
the neighborhood, a wonderful day in the neighborhood.
What the fuck is supposed to get Mr. Roger?
It's a wonderful
This
day
guy's
to see
insane.
your parents burn up in a fire.
It's like he gets his mail. Dear Mr. Rogers, today my parents died a horrible, fiery death. Well, that is a very hard thing to go through.
I'm just imagining her as like an edgy teenager, like listening to NCR and slitting her wrist, and like Mr. Rogers like, honey, do you want to talk about it? It's okay to talk about your feelings. Fuck you, Dad. You're not my real dad.
Wait, also, fucking, I don't think that's how child, like, I don't think that's how child, like,
Adoption works.
adoption works. You don't just take her.
It's
You
not
can't
like-
just kidnap her off the street.
This is my child now.
The police are there like, whoever next of kin. Oh, don't worry, officers. I'll take her in. Oh, well, that's...
Don't worry.
Honey,
that-
do you
that
have
seems
your
on the-
grandparents or
Yeah, that
aunts
seems-
and uncles?
Yeah, that seems on the up and up. Have fun, then.
No,
Let's be.
no friends.
I hate this bitch. I hate this fucking this character because I hate the author too because shit talking Mr. Rogers. You will get stabbed for that shit.
Yes.
Okay,
I
where was
I
I?
have to say, yeah, I have to quote Toby here. We are 3 paragraphs in.
We're 4.
Fuck.
She hated him. He was He was a dirty, fat old. I'm inserting words. She hated him. He was a dirty, fat man who was drunk almost every minute of the day.
I mean,
But
That's impressive.
period. But fuck you. She hated him.
What about butt fucking?
Silence.
God damn it.
Shut the fuck up and let him read.
But she hated him even
Oh,
more
wait, hang on.
for not.
I have one more.
No,
One more
Raptor.
comment, Dad.
Raptor, go
Oh,
go fast.
So, he drank every day and was fat. So he's Keith Moon, right?
Thank you for that. Come on.
But she hated him even more for not watching her that day. Because of him, she killed her parent. Wait, why would that be his fault?
Wait, what?
Why would he be
Why would it be
watching?
responsibility?
Yeah,
He's
why
your
would he
neighbor.
be
no
watching
responsible
her?
of her.
Why? How did she-
Wait. I remember the detail where he was the neighbor that babysat her. So she's blaming him. Like if you were watching me and had me in the yard where I was supposed to be, I wouldn't have walked out onto the road and cost my parents who are going down the street 80 miles an hour to swerve into a tree in their giant fucking fuck off pickup truck.
If you were there, if you were there watching me, my parents would have been rolling down the streets. Fernando's. I can't even finish the joke. Okay, but there was no one else, no family, no friends. There's no comma there. Fuck you again. She was left alone, misery being her only company. Many years later, the light brunette sits in her history class, doodling little cartoon people in her sketchbook. As she went on to drawing someone's hair, something violently snapped her out of concentration. A wrinkled hand over a quiz with a large 0 on the cover of her work. Oh, keep that in mind, boys. Oh,
Here you go, Raptor. You get to play a woman.
Alice.
Okay.
Oh wait, not yet. Alice suddenly felt her head pound. She's getting
Wait, what?
punched. She's getting
What?
punched by her teacher.
I
You
didn't.
just skip the dialogue.
You skipped it. Yeah.
Oh, did I?
I didn't win.
Yeah.
Sorry about
Yeah.
that.
Go, Raptor.
Shit, go.
Alice, I suggest you actually pay attention in my class. You do not want another 0.
Please, for the love of God, change your tone of voice.
I
It sounds
actually-
No, that's
orgasmic.
perfect. Just like the perfect old woman bitch.
Yeah,
Also, this is just the scene from fucking Clockwork.
yeah.
This is
You're
just straight up
trying to
bad.
Natalie, don't disappoint me.
Said Alice's wrinkly old history teacher. Alice suddenly felt her head pound because her history teacher just punched her in the fucking face.
Her history teacher was a gender swap, Mark Coleman.
I get that. You fucking headbutted her. Where was I? Suddenly felt her head pound. Something about what she just said. ... Stop. Bothered her. But she didn't know what it was.
I just have to
Oh,
read Mike's comment
If you do
real
not,
quick. Every time I come back, it's just, please feel sorry for my character. Oh.
If
Yeah,
you go by,
That's literally every creepypasta character.
Don't
I
worry,
think
boy.
So
real quick, I think we covered that. No, I think we were just talking in chat and Discord about fucking JC the Hyena, and I said, and I went on record, if you unironically use the phrase "uwu," you deserve to have your kneecaps broken, and I mean that wholeheartedly.
Ken's-
And then
I'm on it.
Excuse me. Yes, Miss Kleist.
Is it Kenzie's turn to read or is it still me?
I
I think you have one more.
Okay. Alice said, not making eye contact. As she sat in class, pretending to know what was going on, but that's a clunky sentence. Pretending to know what was going on, but her head continued to ache.
Yeah.
That's misspelled. Continued to ache more and more until she John wrote this story. Act more and more until she felt like she was going to be sick. She asked to be excused and quickly ran to the restrooms. Alice splashed cold water onto her burning face. Her face is on fire. Well, I wonder what the color of the fire that's burning her face is.
Yeah.
Looking up into the mirror, but stop. But jumped back, heart pounding, when she saw her reflection. She swore she saw herself ... Blink.
I love
Yeah, well,
this
that's
is
how
supposed-
mirror
That's
works.
we have
Oh
we
my
have
god! Dre periods only. Dre periods only.
we have no
That's
family.
not how
to me when I
ellipses
saw
work.
myself wink. Oh my god, you
It's
guys,
only
that's
Dre.
so scary.
You guys are-
Fuck if
smash
it's
the
my
like
turn.
button.
You guys are fixated on that, but to me, this all reads out like she had a crush on her wrinkly old teacher. Like get back to work. Like, then oh my god, wrinkly
Hey,
fucking
wow.
noticed me.
Well, yeah, Mike.
Well, you did photo me once, so.
Vince, I guess you could say, Senpai noticed her.
Shut your mouth.
And just shut up. Just
Okay.
shut up.
Kenzie, go. We are about 25% through the story.
She ran to the bathroom with a piece of toast in her mouth.
A few hours later, she sits in her art class watching her classmates work on their projects.
Thinking about
While
the
doing
old
so,
lady.
her hand slips and she cuts her hand pretty deeply with a razor blade.
I'm sorry, what?
Fuck you.
I thought it
You know,
said art
fucking
class,
You and
not,
everyone that looks like you.
I thought that said art class, not like barber class.
Why would
Now, kids, in sex ed, we're gonna teach you how to shave your snatch.
You need to fucking
Oh my
go.
God.
Someone needs to put the author of this in a shipping container and send her to Dagestan to see what real hardship looks like.
Now, girls,
Get to
if
beam
you're
to
gonna
fucking
go on and go in the
beat the
same
shit out of
direction
it.
of the growth. And by the way, this is a male teacher teaching this.
She's in
Why did I just
whittling
picture
class.
this? I just pictured Mrs. Harrison.
She's in whittling class. She's fucking
DC's #1 bullshit.
Okay, and I do have to
We
ask,
gotta
though,
do a stream.
like, what do these losers think? Like, have they spent a full day in school where they just think every hour of the day is art class?
I think that's their ideal, ideal.
That's their ideal fucking school, where it's just like,
It's like,
I get to slack off for 7 hours.
Yeah,
Cool.
no
And not to
you're
mention how even if you're at an age where you can take it as an elective, you don't take it every day.
Yeah,
I was homeschooled.
That
though,
depends
so.
on.
Well, we
that's
don't
on
even
the-
know how old she is.
No fucking
It just says high school, I think.
High school.
Anyway.
High school. She could be anywhere from 15 to 18 even.
Red liquid spilling out on her work, but
We
she
know
felt
what
nothing.
blood looks
Before
like.
she knew it, the teacher was staring at her, eyes wide, and rushed her to the nurse. When she returned, she hid her face and walked back to her seat. But she froze before she sat down. Red circles completely covered her work and desk. The whole situation made her shake, and as soon as the bell rang, she ran out into the halls.
Losing a
Is it
lot of
rank
blood,
the right
presumably.
word? Am I wrong?
Is it rang or wrong?
Is it? I think it's rank, but I could be
That's
wrong.
not how you spell rang.
Before she left campus, she was greeted by a familiar smile. I call dibs.
Oh boy.
Hello, Alice. Welcome to Wonderland.
Oh my god. I
cringed so hard.
If I was named Alice and my friend made that joke, I would not be friends with them anymore.
Yeah.
No, this is.
It's one of those things like, yeah, I haven't heard that a million times.
Right.
You're the only 10 I see.
The short blonde girl with brown eyes said, throwing her arms up,
Why are they
gesturing
always
the entire
blonde?
street as if to be a surprise. Alright, I think you're up next. Now, Cricket.
Can you not,
wait.
Anne?
Alice said, slightly annoyed. Kenzie, you played an Ann cat, right?
Yeah, hang on. My mom just texted me. I need to let her know I'm still streaming.
Okay.
Shut up, Mom. I'm streaming.
Come on, lighten up. Anyways, you gonna do that homework?
Okay, I need to cut in because I just need to tell this to writers. Anyways is not a word. It's anyways.
I don't mind it as long as it's.
I thought anyways is a word depending on the context you use, but I could be wrong.
I don't mind it if it's like in the form of dialogue because that's just how some people might talk.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's more natural when someone talks.
It's definitely more egregious to say any poozle.
Unironically. Vicious cane beatings.
Again, I want dialogue to be sounding more natural, maybe make mistakes like that, as humans actually talk like that. Just not the actual, scripters or anything like that.
Like there's a difference between someone saying, "Oh, I'm gonna go to the store" in dialogue, and say, "Oh, Jeff was gonna go to the store." Like if you do the latter, you deserve to be viciously caned to death.
You deserve to be beaten by a stick.
See,
you deserve to be beaten up by Cain Vasquez.
I'm just picturing like some creepypasta writer just sitting there typing that. They type Ghana outside of dialogue, and Vince just like teleports in behind them holding a cane. Oh.
Bamboo stick. Dishonor.
You ever been to Singapore, friend?
Continuing on.
Alright, Anne said, resting her hands behind her head, catching snowflakes with her small pink tongue.
Wait. We went from summer to winter?
Guess so.
Yeah, because we skipped like 7 years. Yeah. There was a time skip. Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna have to do your own work eventually, I'm not gonna be here forever.
Why are you talking like a mafia boss?
Because it's Vince's choice.
Don't worry. Hey, whoa, don't worry about it, okay?
Just talk like Khabib throughout the. Do Khabib for her voice.
Khabib, DC's #1 bulls. You have to do work eventually.
Hey, it's sunglasses.
Send me location.
Inside. Okay.
I'm gonna smash your boy.
Yes,
Okay.
you are, because I'm never gonna let you leave.
I love that
That
saying.
went way too well with what Vince just
I was about to say, like, I'm gonna smash your boy. Yes, you are. Oh, holy shit.
Oh no!
Anne said, drawing her arm around Alice's shoulder as they walked down the cold winter road. As they continued to walk, joking and gossiping to each other, they finally reached Anne's home. They said their goodbyes.
Wrong bear.
They said that they're wrong. Then Alice reliantly walk. Reliantly?
Reliantly.
Like
That's
she
a weird
relies?
word.
What?
Like, okay, people were counting on her to walk into the forest.
She bravely trekked into the forest.
Not big words.
A crowd of people
Right.
watching her as she walked in. You can do it!
You're supposed to be hesitantly or what?
What the
It's
story
like-
doesn't explain is that she actually lives in like fucking Chechnya and she's filled with like wolves and bears.
She lives in like the former. She lives in like the site of the former Chernobyl power plant.
There's a bunch of like a fucking 5-armed bears gonna attack her.
That was the cheapest house that they could afford.
And I just want to say, I want to do the next voice.
Oh, I was gonna
Alright.
ask to do it.
I was gonna call dibs on that guy.
Damn it. Continuing.
Oh, like-
Rogers.
You already got to voice the main character's crush, that old wrinkly bitch.
Alright. Alice blindly walked into the forest. She loved it. It was so peaceful. The
With
yellow
wolves
sun
on it.
hitting the untouched right terrain and the thin shadows of the leafless trees.
So now the
only
sun's
that-
out. I thought it was snowing.
The only thing that bothered her was it meant she was going back to that horrid place she called it home.
I hate you. Don't talk shit. I wish I could live with Mr. Rogers. Fuck you.
She opened
Even if it
the
was, it's
creaky
just a guy
Vince
who
won't
pissed
stand
me
for
off to watch
Mr.
it.
Rogers slander.
I am a Mr. Rogers simp.
Let her
Mr.
read.
Rogers stand.
I'm being oppressed here. She
Don't see the violence
She-
inherent in the system.
She opened the creaking door and slowly, silently entered the cold house.
Wait, what?
She
don't
held her
think-
breath, walking through the living room.
There you are, you little bitch!
Manny, you cut out a bit
Yeah,
now.
your voice cut out bad.
We just heard.
You blew your mind.
We just heard.
I heard bitch and that was it.
There you are, you little bitch!
And the fact that you're not doing a Mr. Rogers voice is phenomenally disappointing.
Yelled a
I
gruff
love-
man as he
no, I
grabbed
love
her
this.
arm. Alice squeaked as he yanked her back, looking straight into her eyes with disgust. Alice's face turned bright red as the knot filled her throat.
Oh god, her face is
Oh.
her face is catching fire.
Are you sure?
Why didn't describe it now?
Was this taken directly from Fur Affinity? What is this?
Oh, God. Damn it,
I think.
Vince!
All right, is the
I think
What's
that's.
this? Oh!
I can't. The paragraphs are kind of so bad in this story. It's kind of hard to tell when the paragraph really ends or not.
Who's reading now? It's a raptor.
Is it still me or is it Raptor?
I think
No.
it's Raptor
Raptor
time.
Raptor.
Okay, Raptor time.
Okay. He said, pulling her into the kitchen, pointing at a counter covered in beer cans and microwaved meal cases. I hope it's kids cuisine there.
Yay!
It's banquet. It's
Do they still make
Oh,
those?
Oh shit!
yeah,
I
of
forgot.
course
To,
they do.
I forgot to clean this morning. Clean up all the bodies.
We're not there
All the
yet.
clean-
Is this dialogue or is this just still
I-
as where the
No,
story
that-
is?
inner
You just
monologue.
read it.
I thought to
That's
myself,
one.
"Hey, sorry, I just got. I had to get to school."
She was silenced by the solid fist of Mr. Walker.
Mr. Rogers unleashed a fucking bitch slap on this girl.
I'm only gonna tell you one more motherfucking time, dear.
I don't need
Hey,
your stupid
neighbor,
excuses.
I'm gonna kick
Don't
your
let it
ass.
happen ever again, or you'll regret it, I swear.
I love that voice so much.
Said,
Some of your
throwing her
fucking
to the
burst into
tile.
tears.
He said, throwing her to the tile floor, walking back into the living room, slumping on his large, round body onto the dusty couch.
Never give
Watching-
never give those words that much attention like that ever again.
Okay, I just gotta say
Lumping
though, like
body.
he threw her onto
But
the
she's
ground.
fat.
I'm imagining like pro wrestling and like he just like lifts her above his head, just wham.
Fucking Rampage Jackson style
Yeah.
powerbomb.
I was thinking Henry
Power
Cejudo.
bombed her.
I was thinking Henry Cejudo just fucking pushing TJ Dillashaw. It's like the funny. That's the best part of that fight.
I am whamming. I don't know wrestling.
Well, yeah,
They're
wrestling. Okay.
wrestling.
It's wrestling. No, don't worry about it. You're good.
I mean,
You're good, fam.
One of them
We
was
got
a
you, fam.
wrestler, but shush. Continuing
we-
forward.
Got it, you fam. Oh, who's next? Is Raptor
Who's
still in?
read it, Matt?
Yeah, Raptor.
Yes.
I think it's you.
Raptor, one more.
What is-
One more.
One more.
Okay.
My death sentence.
Alice. Alice quickly stood up, throwing away garbage and cleaning the counters in a silent panic. This wasn't uncommon. Whenever she did anything wrong, there was the angry, drunk man to beat her. So she did as she was told and hid in her room. Oh no.
I
So
read
sad.
I read the angry drunk man is angry drunk man, so I just thought every time she didn't clean up anything, a random drunk man would like burst into her room just to beat her.
Conor McGregor.
I'm an angry drunk man. I'm angry right now and I'm drunk.
She
Oh,
held
Same
I'm
time
waiting
next
here.
week. Sure, Steve.
She held back the emotions boiling inside. Sadness, confusion, and rage. Afterwards, she quickly walked up the stairs to her small bedroom. It was a dark room, the walls covered in her favorite NCR posters, and a small bed in the center and a dresser on the counter. This was her only escape, the only place you could be free. This is the part why Blake free. No
Wake
one
me
came
up.
in. Only her and no one else. The next day, she walked through the snow-filled woods and emerged onto the road on the other end, speed walking down the sidewalk. She did not.
Speedwalk. I know that's a thing, but it sounds so funny when you actually type it.
She tapped into the Speed Force.
She was on the
Speed
fucking
run,
treadmill.
walking.
She went back in time
was on
to the
the milk
to
force.
save her parents before they collided into the tree.
But no, she can't.
It's the same
she
like
can't
the
do
end of
that, or
Superman.
somehow
Where he's like flying over the world to turn the world backwards to go back in time to save Lois
Like,
Lane.
It's
Well,
like
Like
that
that,
fucking.
but creepypasta form.
It's flashback.
Why am I suddenly in a dimension where Aquaman and Wonder Woman fucked and she beheaded Mara?
No, she can't go back and save her parents, or somehow Thomas Wayne will be the one that died, that survived.
no.
this.
Oh no!
And Martha Wayne is Joker.
Oh no!
well.
I saved my parents, but now my dad is zero. Oh no!
Wait,
Does that
oh,
make
so
sense?
incredible.
So I got a gripe with fucking Flashpoint. This is a little tangent. But
Martha,
like, how the
don't you
fuck
ever
does-
say that name.
Save it for
Why
later.
did you say that name, Martha?
Fine, continuing forward.
Yes. After she
Yeah,
tapped
I'm
into the
thinking
Speed
to never
Force,
talk girls will never talk. Shut up.
she did not cross the road today, but I guess that makes you a chicken. And then she quickly walked her favorite black hood. Oh, fucking God. Her favorite black hoodie covering her large black and blue gash on her face. Oh, such
Ash?
Falling
Gash?
in like this.
Gash?
Gash implies it's a cut, like it'd
Yeah.
be bloody in.
covering her blue gash Ketchum. She couldn't tell anyone. Who knows what Mr. Who
Stop calling him that.
knows?
No, wait.
Rod.
Wait,
Wait.
is this offer for Jonathan Davis? This offer is Jonathan Davis. This corn. This offer is corn.
Wait, guys!
I'm trying to-
It all makes frickin' it makes sense now. She had to
What?
specify crimson blood because she bleeds black and blue.
You're right. Oh my gosh, how did I not think that?
that is
Galaxy brain.
Oh god, we got
I'm
Kachow
trying-
going in the chat.
I'm trying to hold on. I'm gonna be serious.
Ow.
She couldn't tell anyone.
Ciao.
Who knows
Ciao.
what? Who knows what Mr. Rogers would do?
Hey, Alan.
Take my
Wait up.
Said a familiar voice from behind. Hey, Ann. What up? Alice responded with a monotone voice. her beautiful, sensuous voice, still facing her. What? And caught up, grabbing Alice's shoulder as she caught her breath. Out. Do some cardio, bitch. Alice turned her head, looking out into the forest as Anne walked beside her.
Kenzie, read this like Stevie from Up in the Middle.
I don't remember particularly what he sounds like.
He would just be like, and like he like gasped every couple of words.
Yeah. Like that mother, like you see when the mother got mad at him because she thought he was a weirdo.
What? What the hood? Selling some drugs?
You remember when he beat the absolute man shit out of Malcolm's brother? That was fun. Twice, actually, now I think about it.
Yep.
Yeah, I gotta get more beer.
And giggled to herself.
This isn't, what was it, Nina the Killer, where everyone's just changing gender every 2 sentences.
Yeah, just say, yeah, you know, it's cold. Whatever, don't ask no fucking questions. As she said blandly. And smirked and ripped... Our moles read that as something else. Ripped off the hood. Her eyes wide.
What happened? Are you okay?
And said closely expecting the black eye. Yeah, I'm fine. Fuck off. I'm fine. I just I slipped and hit my head on the countertop. What is your countertop fish shaped? Because that's what the imprint looks like.
Also, just to point this out, this must be like friends for like multiple years during how they act like towards each other. This is the first time this drunk asshole has punched her in the face.
How hard was she? Like a left, she got hit so hard it left both a bruise and a gash. It's like
Vince.
Fuck,
it's Tony Ferguson.
No, it's Dan.
That's why Anne hates.
Got fucking hit with the H bomb.
Oh, she got Dan Henderson.
As soon as she went to the ground,
Will is Zero.
Okay.
That was the title character.
Okay, Vince.
Oh my god.
Michael Bisping as the fucking the voice for the girl.
I can't manage that.
Oh, damn it.
Sorry.
All right.
That's how I'll imagine it.
Anne looked at her face sternly. Oh, sorry. She said, softly giggling nervously. And look. I'm sorry. Were you trying to read? This occurred to me. Oh, go on. Sorry.
Anne looked at her face sternly. She knew Alice was lying. Something was up.
If you say so. If you need somebody, just know I'm always there for you.
Call the police.
She said, throwing her arm over her shoulder in confidence. Yeah, call the fucking cops! Alice nodded as the 2 girls walked towards the school. What, did they just come from school?
No.
No, they're going to school. It's the next day, I think, yeah.
Her day continued. What a surprise. People stared at her
Time
eye.
stopped.
People stared at her eye as she walked by. So they just turned into little suns.
They turned into the hateful star.
They star the people starring in Creepypasta Origin 0.
It became like the Shouldn't Stop meme from like 2016 or something.
A few people asking about it, and she gave them all the same answer.
None of your business.
This was uncommon for her. Usually people ignored her, not giving her even a glance. But she didn't like all the attention she was getting, so she wore her hood for most of the day.
This is, I don't remember who pointed it out. Like, how... She's supposed to be getting regularly beaten, but this is the first time that... I guess Mr. Rogers was just, like, really feeling it that day. He was amped up. He just got through watching, like, fight clips on YouTube. It's like the next time I see her, I'm gonna really lay it into her.
Felt good.
He just got done, buddy.
What?
He just got...
Never mind. That was too bad of a joke. Never mind.
He just got done sending Vanderlei Silva to the fucking afterlife.
I'm just picturing him like this, like, ill-fitting, like, karate gi, and he's watching, like, kids play Smash Brothers after it's over. He's just like, Mouse, I will remember your lessons, Captain Falcon Sensei.
Now I'm just imagining Mr. Rogers just like you said, ill-fitting suit, and I immediately thought of Steven Seagal. Like Steven Seagal beating absolute man shit out of his girl.
We were they were talking about fucking Steven Seagal at the beginning of the stream.
Yeah.
Second time it's come up.
Okay.
Are we almost done?
No.
We're halfway
God
done.
damn it.
We're halfway there. Let's keep going.
Left. 15 minutes left. You see that, guys? 15
Yeah.
minutes.
15.
Oh my god, when you get to the bottom, it just says load more pages.
No, that's for other creepypasta stories. It's not like
Yeah.
this is
Okay.
Yeah, I clicked on that. It took me to Laughing Jack, and I was so angry.
Okay.
Also,
Yeah,
angry too. I'm
these
full of
fucking
rage right now.
Fuck snuff bomb.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, continuing.
After school, she quickly... Okay, that was quick. After school, she quickly walked out of the building, not waiting for her only friend.
Oh boy, it's this.
I'm sorry.
It's this part.
She walked across the campus, tripping on the steps of the short stairs, when she saw two figures walk towards her. She looked at the ground, watching the concrete move under her feet. As she walked, a foot blocked her steps. Must have been a big foot. Dodu's running up to it now. Tripping Alice onto the hard concrete floor. You mean the ground? Her hand and elbow stopped her fall mostly, but sent her notebooks and sketchbook flying in front of her. Red face with embarrassment. Okay, so now she's turned into a racist stereotype. She squirmed onto her knees.
It sounds like the author's like being racist at her. Like, look at that red-faced idiot. Like, holy shit. Go back to your... that's what the narrator is like. Go back to your casino, loser. Go back to your reservation.
God. Laughing burst out everywhere around her face turned into a deep red.
Wait, why is it turning to a deep red if it was already red? Is it turning to like a deeper red?
It's red too. It's red squared.
It's advanced red.
It's red face 2 electric boogaloo.
Okay, should I start now?
Yeah. Or wait.
Sure.
Shouldn't Vince read the first part of this?
Yeah, sure.
Sure, now Senpai notices me. She thought to herself.
Senpai, is it plural?
Senpais. I'm a slut. I have many senpais. It's a reverse harem.
Let's go.
As she grabbed the last note... wait, it's my fucking... As she grabbed the last notebook... What?
I was just reminding you.
I know. I see it. As she grabbed the last notebook, she felt something hit the back of her head. Brown liquid jumped in every direction. Chocolate milk.
I was really hoping brown liquid was diarrhea.
I don't think that's not.
I was really hoping it was diarrhea.
Chocolate milk dripping off her bangs and onto her face. Wait. Okay.
I'm gonna be real. I know this is such a nitpick, but let's be real. Aside from maybe some girls in Asia, who the fuck has bangs anymore? And toddlers.
Kenzie! I am going to get bangs.
People
I'm
have
just telling Manny how I am going to give myself bangs. I am going to get shag from the 80s.
Excuse me,
I am one of them.
Were you guys not paying attention to what I said about her having multiple senpais? Yeah, she has many bangs.
Fuck up and go to pun jail.
She froze until something tugged at the back of her mind. She felt her blood boil and immediately died. She felt her blood boil with rage until ... She just ... snapped.
There we go, folks. We got it.
Oh no!
We got it.
Fuck this shit again.
Oh, I love this story.
And the creepypasta character snaps finally.
Is it time for an unrealistic anime fight scene?
Yes, it is.
Kenzie, you've been called out again. Kay says I literally have bangs.
Yeah, and I'm gonna get bangs too.
Here's the thing, Kay. Kay, here's the thing. I thought you left.
Hey, you and I are bangs.
Can you have the decency to leave so I can try to behind your back?
I don't think yet.
no.
I will get 'em.
Literally,
Right.
it just comes from my resentment from the time when I was 8 and had bangs.
Well,
I
Okay.
had bangs when I was a little girl, but then my mom's
Continuing.
like, I had bangs when I was a little girl, but then my mom's like, "Oh, that's too childish. You have to not get that." And
Here's
now
the
I haven't
thing.
had bangs since.
as
I hate
someone,
really blunt bangs. If
We are
they're
30%
done
through the
right,
story.
they can
I-
look cute.
as
I
someone
don't
who
like bangs that are
someone
like
who
really
has-
sharp, but I
Holy
love
shit,
bangs that are like
Ratchet.
as
wild.
someone who
and
has a shaggy fucking afro, I passionately don't care about this conversation.
Afros are cool.
I actually like. I had to.
Women,
I had to like
They're the
stop for a
source
second.
of all of our troubles.
I actually had to stop for a second. I was like,
At
are we
least when-
actually having
at
a
least when-
conversation about bangs?
Yeah, at
Fucking-
least when we stopped the conversation, we were indulging in crude racist humor. You have to woman up the stream like, oh, let's talk about our hair. Come on, fuck this shit.
fucking femoids over here. Am I
Come
right,
on.
boys?
Now let's talk
Anyway.
more about UFC, Bio Man.
Yeah, let's talk
Oh,
more.
man. More like
Fucking, I
base
can't wait for
man.
Francis Ngannou to send John
Okay.
Jones to the fucking morgue. Anyway,
Dropping everything.
Yes, we got
dropping everything,
got-
she got up,
Soon.
spun around, and ran towards one of the
I would think
figures.
you mean
Oh, wait, hold on.
bathroom,
Just shut up.
Wait, she was tripped?
Yeah, she just snapped. And who cares? Dropping everything, she got up, spun around, and ran towards one of the figures that tripped her. The tall boy's eyes opened in shock as Alice's fist hit him in the gut, reaching up into his ribcage.
Is
Okay, so
anyone-
he's
Of course he
he's
did.
dead.
Kalima.
Is anyone here familiar with that boxing anime Hajime no Ippo?
I was thinking more of
Weeb.
Goku punching Piccolo, but
Oh,
that
God.
one also
Too, but
works.
still. Weeb.
Weebs.
And if you don't know what I'm talking about, look up Rib Punch in Hajime no Ippo.
Okay.
You see exactly what I'm talking
I will
about.
do
Okay.
no such thing.
He fell back, wheezing, coughing up, ... blood. What else would he cough up in this situation?
Coughing
As-
up cum.
Coughing up Vince Paper Rub. As he sat on the
yeah.
Wilk.
yeah, as he sat on the concrete, hugging his stomach, her knee rammed into the side of his head. He coughed up
She got
more.
disqualified and he became champion.
Oh god, it's
But
Aljamain
tish.
Sterling.
Wait, read
But
this line.
tish.
Where was I? He coughed up more crimson when ...
We know what color blood is.
Alice grabbed his leg and with her foot
Wait,
broke it.
how does that
Wait,
work?
for what?
Wait,
I think she's
So-
trying, I
so
think
did
she's
she,
trying to
like,
say that she held
take-
out his leg and then like stomped on it.
but that wouldn't be his foot. That would be like his fucking shin, wouldn't it?
No,
Wait, she
no,
no.
Like the wrist
Wait,
version
hold
of his
on.
foot, right?
Okay,
wait,
so
wait, it says foot there. It means her foot.
Oh,
so
he grabbed his leg and with her foot broke it. Okay,
wait,
allowed-
that still doesn't make sense. Oh, never
No, it
mind.
doesn't.
Whatever.
just put up a picture of Chris Weidman.
Oh God.
Just whatever.
either image, to be honest. She dodged. Oh wait, no, I missed. She went up. This sentence doesn't even uppercase the first letter. Fuck you. She went for his arm when she saw the second figure run towards her. She dodged his punch, slamming her elbow into his back in some Muay Thai action in here, sending his body
This should be
towards
like
the
a fucking
concrete.
Phantom Menace fight scene.
The shorter boy quickly spun around. Alice sitting on atop. Oh, Lingara's here. Atop his stomach, punching his damaged face over and over and over again until you could see blood pour from his nose and mouth. He struggled to
Just said it
stop
earlier.
her.
Imagine the song Firestarter playing over this scene.
Wait. He struggled to stop her, but was too weak. How this dude's? Oh, who fucking cares? He had no choice but to just take each and every blow.
Giggity.
Jokes.
Alice, stop.
That I think that was me.
Oh, sorry. Go on.
Alice, stop!
Oh,
She
there.
heard-
Excuse me. That was a new character.
She heard someone yell, running towards the scene. She looked up, hand positioned for another punch, but stopped once she saw the horrified look on everyone's faces, including
Well,
Anne's.
some too, bitch.
Then she threw her fucking mouthpiece at Dylan Dennis and jumped over the cage. She snapped out of whatever terrible phase.
It's just
she
a
had entered.
phase.
So
Killing people is just
It's
a
not
phase.
a phase, Mom.
Whatever terrible phase she had entered, and looked down at her bloody knuckles and the mangled face of the boy. Should I?
Oh, what?
Yeah.
What? Huh? What? Oh, what did I do? This ain't me. I didn't do this. I was never here. I don't know anybody. I didn't see shit.
Y'all better not snitch.
I thought, hey, just imagine her pointing around like, y'all see, you didn't see fucking nothing. You understand me? Nothing. Looking at Anne like, you, do we understand each other? Best friend who is easily replaceable.
Oh yeah, speaking of best friend, whatever happened to that little imaginary bullshit that
Don't worry.
beginning?
Don't worry, boys. It's coming back.
Okay,
Oh,
good.
no, I'm legitimately worried.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
Oh gee, I almost worried that it wasn't that important to the plot.
No, I'm already predicting the story. I'm already predicting it.
Don't
getting
say
possessed.
prediction.
Okay, I won't say the prediction, but I'm
Continue
sure everyone
forward.
else knows it too.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone else can get it too.
We've already called it.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
quickly
but yeah,
stood and backed away from my two mangled bitches.
Okay, but I understand that. Best friend, with whom I have gone shoe shopping, so I know your shoe size, for what size of concrete shoes to fit you with.
Kenzie, it's your turn. Fuck it. I'm not reading anymore.
I'm just imagining every time that it's Mike, the character I'm voicing, talks. The fucking not Godfather. Tony Montana's theme plays. Fucking Jorge Masvidal walkout.
I picture Fat Tony.
She quickly stood, backing away from the two mangled victims, ran past the school grounds towards the forest. She ran into her bathroom, rummaging through the cabinet, searching for medicine to clean the wounds she had caused herself. She poured the alcohol onto the cuts and used to wash off the blood.
Damn, beating ass sure takes a lot out of a girl.
She watched the small white bubbles form inside each cut on her hand and her elbow.
What?
Once she bandaged her wounds, she rested her hands on the counter and stared at herself in the bathroom mirror.
Damn, that felt good. What did I do? Did I snap? Have I done this before? Can you prove that I have done this before? I bet you can't.
She whispered to herself, questions swimming around in her head.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh wait, there's a new character taking over.
Can I voice?
Disney
Me. Can I? Oh, I have.
Okay.
I got an idea. Why don't you and I do it together? Like try to do it at the same times.
That never works every time we try to do that.
Oh shit. Go ahead, Manny. Jerk.
What?
Manny, you choose who does
it. You have to say a voice that's like the Italian accent though, because it's still his own voice. And her own voice.
It's between Bioman and Cricket.
I can't do the Italian voice, okay?
Okay, then Bioman.
Oh. I can't do it.
I can't do any accents unless accents unless it's very.
You don't have to do the Italian accent. Just one of you do it.
Because it's a different character.
Let me do it.
Wait, no, I'm already doing it.
I was doing it.
I have not voiced the character yet.
Continuing forward.
That is fair.
Oh no.
I want to do it.
Oh no.
I'm being oppressed right now.
Oh no.
It was his suggestion. This is his story.
Yes. Can I continue?
Yes, he's my mom and me.
Yes, George Takei.
Oh no, of course not. I just had to protect you.
Her mouth answered using her own voice.
Oh.
So Alex jumped back, eyes widened, face pale. Her reflection just spoke to her.
What? Who the fuck are you?
After a long pause, the raspy voice finally spoke once more.
I am your best friend. Don't you remember?
Raspy.
Raspy, George Takei.
Raspy compared to what? Raspier than the voice I'm doing. Yeah, cool.
Raspier than fucking Sonic, I guess.
Best
Tears ran
friend.
down her warm cheeks. Her head began to pound as she fell to the ground, grasping her head, screaming. The voice was inside her head, screaming the same phrase over and over again.
Don't you remember me, Alice?
No, not
I am
really.
your best friend. Your only friend.
I don't have friends.
The next few weeks, the voice did not return. But Alice did not return to the girl she once was. She became violent, angry at almost everything, had violent fits of laughter out of nowhere, and often fought or stole from others.
Okay,
It
so
was
she
strange.
was a teenager.
She was the Joker.
It was strange.
The baby?
Harley Quinn.
It was strange. She felt as if her mind was replaced with someone else's. And of course, after being expelled, she had no choice but to stay in her room, not eating, not talking, completely void of interaction. Well, then how did she become violent, and how did she steal shit?
Yeah.
And
And
fight.
she's already doing. She stole from Mr. Rock. She stole from herself?
This continued
Continuing.
for many months, until her
She went
migraines
many
became
months
worse.
without eating.
She's a skeleton.
I've learned to subsist on the air particles like a sponge.
I consume only plankton within the air.
It's called filter feeding.
Okay, who's reading now? It's fucking Raptor, right?
Wait, is it Raptors and me?
It's whoever. Go.
It was a cricket. I was
Love
still
Cricket, though.
reading the paragraph.
Am I reading the Mr. Rogers outburst? Or...
Who was Mr. No, that was Manny.
Yeah.
Wait, which part am I reading? 'Cause
This
I had
continued for many months.
Okay,
Start from there.
This continued for many months until her migraines became worse. Her head pounded against her skull until she screamed and cried, begging for it to stop.
Please stop! I am begging you!
She couldn't go to a doctor or a therapist. They would surely call her insane.
I
and
don't
put her
wanna-
into an asylum.
I cannot go
but
to.
migraines-
I cannot.
Chronic
Before going
migraines
to
is something
a
a medical doctor would handle.
Yeah, not a therapist.
I cannot go to a doctor or a therapist.
You couldn't let that happen. Then one day, after a particular violent drunk outburst from Mr. Rogers that left her with cuts all over her arms.
Oh, you don't want to explain those? We just gonna pass over?
Did he knife her? Did he knife her?
Who cares?
Who cares? Continuing.
As she sobbed and her mind pounded against its chamber, she began to feel weaker
Like its
and
bed
weaker
chamber.
until her vision went black. When she awoke, she found herself laying on the floor of her bedroom. Her muscles ached. Well, they spelled ached that right, at least. As
They didn't act.
as if they were torn apart, only to be slowly sewn together. She got up, headache gone, but extremely tired and hungry. She walked downstairs. Yeah, she walked downstairs, stumbling towards the kitchen, violently opening the fridge door.
Rampage Jackson.
It was almost bare. Sighing, she pulled on a hoodie and slipped on a black Converse.
God damn it! Fucking Converse shoes.
Oh.
What is wrong with you people? Why do you all talk the same?
Raptor, it's your turn, please. Just
Okay,
continue.
Who is teaching you words?
Let's count out. Which sentence do we start on?
Walking out.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Walking out of the closet grocery store.
Closest.
Oh, sorry.
What?
There's a grocery store in a closet.
She
It's a
finally
big
came out of the closet and she calmed down
Okay, look,
significantly.
I'm dumb, okay? I misread.
You're not.
No, I ran it as closet too.
Okay, sorry.
She was in there with R. Kelly, Tom Cruise, and John Travolta.
Nerd.
Well, you will learn to spell your name. I
No.
was put in the concrete out. Oh.
Continuing.
She does that speech to her imaginary friends.
Well, you were
Walking out.
learning to spell your number.
You didn't give us a name, bitch.
The closest grocery store. She passed a television store when a particular news report
Television
caught
store?
her interest.
What is this, the 50s television store?
Fucking
Maybe.
rabbit ears.
When a particular news report caught her interest on one of the televisions.
Breaking
It
news,
was gonna-
man found violently beaten to death with blunt instrument. More at 11. The newswoman, obviously.
Alice continued
I start my gender reassignment
to walk
surgery
home.
tomorrow.
The cold autumn wind blowing. The cold autumn wind flowing past her. The grocery bag slumped at her sides. When she entered the home,
Wait,
there was no sign of Mr. Rogers. Believed she threw the bags on the counter of the kitchen, grabbing a can of soup to make for dinner. She turned on the television into the channels of the news station from earlier. The same brunette woman was sitting, holding papers in her manicured hands.
good news, everyone. I've gotten my gender reassignment surgery early. A man killed at 6:15 p.m. today, found in an alleyway of Richard Street. He was a Caucasioid around his mid-40s. Several limbs, even his head and corpse, are missing. So his identity is unrecognizable.
Mr. Rogers.
We do know the exact time of day that he died, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something you determine with the fucking coroner's report, right?
Yeah.
So how the fuck?
The coroners were on their fucking A game today. They did it like immediately.
We're so good at our job, we can determine the death of a body that is not in our possession.
Like they took one look at it, they kind of like a scene from Batman. Batman just like
they didn't take a look at it because it's not there. They didn't even get it. It was like, what do you think he died? Well, we don't have a body to work with.
I'm thinking 6:15.
I mean, that's when the people reported him missing. So I don't know.
After her soup, Manny, it's your. Oh no, it's Vince. It's your turn.
After her soup, she walked up the stairs. She stopped when she smelled something putrid. She continued up the stairs until she froze. A sledgehammer lay in the hallway, covered in blood. In a panic, she ran into the bed.
No, Raptor.
No stealing empty phantasms jokes. I will defend him with my dying breath. Slammed the door. She breathed heavily, and her heart pounding in her ears until she let out a blood-curdling scream. Her room was completely covered in circles with written in blood. With the rooms from the walls to the ceiling to the swept drips off her balls. Yes. And atop her bed lay the caved-in skull attached to the head of Mr. Rogers. Wait. Lay the caved-in skull attached to the head. So did she kill
What
someone?
kind of monster was he?
So did she like rip his skull out and then like place it on his like flesh or something?
Or Mr. Rogers so cartoonishly evil that he just wore a skull everywhere he went?
Red skull.
He was a memorable. He was a thuggy. He was like from the Indiana Jones and Temple of Doom. Like I'm gonna go back out drinking with Muller rum. This place better be clean by the next time I'm coming back.
Also, I'd like to point this out. Her ears were pounding in her head until she let out a blood-curdling scream. So did her heart just stop?
Hey.
She just died immediately.
She ran down out of the bedroom, but tripping over a handle of the blunt instrument. She fell down a flight of stairs. When she reached the bottom, her head slammed against a solid cabinet, knocking her out cold. This is like a comedy of errors going on right now, isn't it? It's like
because I'm not laughing.
She woke up in
it was funny.
She woke up in a dark room. When she stood, she noticed it was a room filled with hundreds of mirrors. Her reflections was projected. I hate you. I hate the fact that you breathe the same air as me. Her reflections was projected in every part of her view. That means nothing! Everywhere she looked, she saw her sickly face and exhausted eyes. Our heart began to pound. Where was she?
Oh, okay. I gotta do this. Aren't you happy? He's gone. He won't hurt you anymore.
I was into that shit. Fuck you. Don't kink shame. Alice spun around looking for where the voice was located, but she only saw her own pathetic reflection. Who are you? I want answers! Who tipped you off?
I think, Randy, it's your turn, right?
She screamed at the top of her lungs.
Ah!
Cracked laughter filled the dark room.
Ah, don't you remember me, Alice? I am your best friend. Your first friend. I am Zero.
No, we don't remember you. You were only mentioned once.
Moto.
You were mentioned
The
once
security
70
is my
paragraphs ago.
motto. Install me on your computer.
Fuck you,
Virus, adware, malware. All gone forever.
A long silence filled the room.
Oh, same character talking. Wonderful. You imagined me so I could protect you.
Yeah.
But if I am imagined, I cannot help.
Yeah.
How does that? Okay. So I had. Wait, so that's why she got beat up all the time. She couldn't actually do anything.
Holy shit, you're stupid. Like, did this dumb bitch think that this operated under Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends logic, where if I make up a imaginary friend, they'll come to life and beat up my bullies?
So I had to find a way so I can always protect you.
Why didn't you call the police?
I am simply part of your consciousness. So
you're not a person.
So if fact, I am you.
Voice whispered.
Why don't my imaginary friends know how to speak proper English? No, you couldn't be, unless, are you a demon?
Alice asked that completely reasonable question.
Are you a Faustian creature of some sort?
Are you a Shoggoth of some kind? No, of course not. I am your friend, here to do what I was told to, all those years ago. Period. But you ignored me after your parents' death.
Yeah,
and you ignored me when I was getting the shit kicked out of me, you son of a bitch.
Where were you? You were the one who told me to cross the road, probably.
You ignored me after your multiple parents' death. So I was very lonely, Alice. But I am getting stronger. You cannot control me. You cannot control me anymore, Alice. This is the perfect voice.
My parents? Oh, fuck, I remember that.
Oh, wait, I remember my parents being brutally murdered.
Oh, yeah, I have parents. And not for nothing, I thought that Mr. Rogers was my biological father. That would explain my need to violently maim people who did nothing to me.
Vince, it's you. It's still you.
Oh.
It's new paragraph, but
hold on just one fucking second here. You told me to go onto the road. You made me kill my parents.
Well, that was Mr. Five Watch's fault.
No shit,
I'm crying right now.
Tears of sheer stupidity flowed down her burning cheeks.
I lit my face on fire at a protest.
Why, yes, I had to. They wouldn't let us play.
That was never established.
That doesn't make any fucking sense.
That literally was never established.
So I couldn't protect you because they did. What does that even fucking mean? So they needed to go so I could do my job. Wait, if they did the job anyway, why would I even have this job? Okay.
I like how the imaginary friend knew exactly when that fucking truck was coming too.
Yeah.
So like omnipresent.
Not to mention that neither she nor the parents did a very good job of protecting this bitch. She got beat up so bad.
She got beat up so bad. It's like, what the fuck? What is happening?
That is what you ordered me to do, after all. To protect you.
Alice's whining stopped. She stood there in silence, her entire body filled with uncontrollable rage.
I'm angry now.
Without warning, she ran her fist into the ears, each and every one.
She brutalized her hand doing.
You took everything from me. Everyone's gone. I have no one. I am nothing.
She
I
screamed
ain't-
as she continued to punch each of the reflective surfaces.
Fucking
until her
doing
nose-
nah, she's doing fucking spinning kicks and
She's elbowing the fucking mirror.
fucking like ripping one of the mirrors off the wall, like mounting, getting him to full mount.
She fucking suplexed one of the.
So dropping those 9 to 5 elbows.
By the way, I think it's my turn to read the fucking paragraphs.
Oh.
As she, I'm doing the fucking George K first. As she ran into the next mirror. What? As she ran to the next mirror, she tripped over something. When she looked back, she saw the crimson glazed sledgehammer. Picking it up, she violently smashed it into everything.
What?
Glass flew. Did something happen? Who died?
I don't know.
Yeah, Raptor.
Oh, damn. Raptor is back.
Don't worry, he got better.
Yeah,
I died, but I got better. Okay,
Yeah.
what happened? Where was I?
Yeah.
She
Hard attack, don't worry about it.
picking up, she violently smashed it into everything. Glass, everything in the universe. Glass flew around the room, hitting Alice in several places, cutting her deeply. But she couldn't feel anything anymore. Of course, she fucking couldn't.
Yeah.
She was completely void of anything at this point. She stopped her fit of rage, violently catching her breath. Violently catching her breath. Did she like fucking grab it on
Fuck you, breath!
Standing on the glass-filled floor, splattered with her own blood dripping from her hands, she glances around the room until she saw her reflection in the corner of the room. Fucking corner mirror. Okay.
With all this glass smashing, I'm just imagining Stone Cold Steve Austin's music playing the entire time this is happening.
It was smiling. She ran towards it with her blunt instrument, smashing herself through the mirror. What? Okay.
Have an aeroplane. If you bring your blue sky back, all you do is call me. I'll be
Oh my god, we're getting so close. Come on, let's just
anything you need.
Her eyes.
And now it's time for the two.
Sledgehammer.
Raptor, I'm going to grab you by the fucking tail and throw you into the sun. Stop.
And now it's time for the 2-hour-long Raptor concert. And then we'll get back to the story.
Her eyes open
I want to
slowly.
make that joke before, but my internet cut out, so I just had to make do with it now.
No.
Her eyes open slowly, blinding light entering her eyes. Okay, thank you. The cold tile floors pressing against her aching back again. She slowly sat up, seeing that she was in her bathroom. She grabbed the counter to help her up. When the counter gave her a hand. When she finally got to her feet, she looked at herself in the large mirror.
Didn't she break all of them?
That wasn't like a
Shut up.
magic. That was a metaphorical mirrors. After many minutes,
Context clues, Manny. God.
boy.
Keep going.
After many minutes of complete silence, she finally burst into a fit. Oh, that's one. A giant smile stretched across her face. Both her skin. What? Both. Wait, boy.
Cheers to John! Wait, just read
Grace,
it.
both her skin and hair were.
Shut up.
Both
No.
her skin and hair had been completely
No,
bleached
Don't
white
you fucking
and
do
large
it!
black circles surrounded her eyes, reaching from her eyebrows to her
It's Jeff.
cheeks.
No!
Oh.
No.
Oh, it's my line still. Still me.
What is it?
Ha ha
No,
ha
it's my
ha.
turn.
Wait,
Jeff
no,
Killer.
it's me still. I'm 0. Remember?
Oh yeah,
It's still me. Ha ha.
but I
ha.
read
No, wait.
now, like
Yeah.
the non-dialogue.
Oh, George Takei voice, come back to me. Ha 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 ha. Now this is more like it. I finally feel myself.
Feel myself.
When I don't know anybody.
Please,
Is there anybody
leave me
else there?
alone. How am I supposed to touch myself if I can't use my hands?
I don't. Anybody else? Sorry.
Poser.
Wait.
You guys are nerds.
I have for too long. Wait. Which part was that? Oh, who cares? Fucking continue.
Zero
I think
responded.
we forgot the paragraph where Alice said, "Please leave me alone." Said the lips that were previously
Okay.
Alice's.
Said the lips that were previously Alice's. Now go.
I have for far too long. Far much too long. That's
Far
What,
much
what the fuck? You
Can't read the
It says
story
far.
anymore.
fucking
Cut him
mongoloid.
up some slack. and This has fried his brain.
I hate
Zero
Like, not-
responded.
For I have for much too long. Zero responded. Who cares? Continue.
Alice did not respond. She was gone.
Oh boy. Huh.
Ugh,
I kind of look like a skeleton, but not quite.
she said, admiring her white complexion. Racist.
Racist.
Oh my god.
Not
She
even
left the
white.
bathroom, walking down to the living room, grabbing some
damn it.
scissors, needle,
Fuck
and
this.
tread.
What?
Red.
Wait, what?
Oh,
Needle and a
No,
tread.
no, no.
Gotta get you out of my
I'm not
head.
I'm not even getting into the typo. This had better not be going where I think it is.
Yeah, it's going
know where
exactly
it's
there.
going,
It's going
boys.
exactly there.
oh dear.
Can
It is,
any
it
of
is.
you fuckers on this website entertain the concept of an original thought in your empty fucking head for 5 seconds? Just one
No.
original thought. Just one original concept, an original character. Why
No,
do you all have to be the same emo fucking hot topping loving dickheads?
Okay, wait.
An
Go
original
listen to
concept,
Cringe, you fucks.
my lord, is that we go.
Okay, wait. So to give Wattpad a bit of a break for a second, this story is a repost. The original was from DeviantArt.
Oh, that's much better. Wow, thanks.
Are you sure? Because the woman has the user has a Jeff the Killer icon.
Yeah, because this is
I
a
actually
fucking
don't even know if
repost.
that's just a killer. I think that
Yeah.
might actually be their avatar.
That's Jeff the Killer. Yeah.
That's Jeff the Killer. At least the female version, Jane the Killer. It's
Let's
Jane
be
the
honest.
Killer.
Who gives a fuck? They're all the same. They're all the same fucking character.
Yep.
Like, I understand the concept of trend chasers, but
Yeah.
I don't know. In this quote unquote community where they always talk about like, oh, we like creativity and shit like that.
There's shocking
Oh,
lack
God.
of it, isn't there? You know, the other day I was actually I was going through the list that I have of creepypastas that have been read on YouTube. And
Mhm.
I actually for 40 solid seconds, I forgot that Jason the Toy Maker was actually not named Jack the Toy Maker. Like, that was a joke from the episode. And I genuinely just fucking forgot his name.
Even that's actually a popular story, isn't it?
Yeah.
Why?
It's not. It's about as popular as any of these other fucking DeviantArt stories are.
She entered the bathroom again. She
Okay.
sat down her supplies and smiled into the mirror.
Oh, where is she? A skeleton needs her teeth.
All skeletons have teeth, you fucking mouth breather.
She said as she
Scary
ran the
skeleton.
sharp scissors into her
Shivers
cheeks,
down your spine.
blood gushing down to her chin.
I'm not even paying attention to the story. I just wanted to end. Please skip.
Raptor, I think it's yours.
Please.
Or Cricket, I think it's your turn.
Please.
At this point, her jaw hung open uncontrollably, and she started to bleed to death.
If this story had any semblance of self-respect, it would actually do the end like that.
That would be amazing.
It's not. Let's just wrap this up and take it home. I'm hungry. I want food.
Cricket, take us home.
The flights pinched a muscle and nerves in her flesh on each side of her face. The crimson liquid continued to pour.
Hey guys, did you know that blood is crimson?
Did you
Oh my-
know?
I forgot. I
Wait,
thought the blood
Were
was.
you aware?
Let's look on the bright side. She's not bleeding black and blue anymore.
She's not. She's also not on fire, so that's good. I wonder what the color of fire is.
I can feel myself physically aging.
Oh wait, I have to read Cameron's comment here. Wattpad, more like God, why pad? Not it.
Guys,
Continuing forward.
I see
Adam.
one plastic. What too? What?
Just keep reading, please.
Just go.
Okay, I'll keep reading. After the large cuts were finished in which her face from ear to ear, of course, duh, she grabbed the needle and thread, she actually spelled it right this time, and began to sew her face in a vertical pattern as to look like lines across, only her mouth being free from its grasp. Red liquid began to pour down from the opening.
No!
You didn't know red liquid is blood, by the way, guys. Red liquid is blood. He frowned
I
at
can't
the
believe
sight
it.
of it.
I always thought blood was green.
I forgot what's coming out.
You know,
oh my god.
You know what?
Continuing.
No, it said red liquid. I'm just assuming it's marinara.
Wait, guys, look. She actually acknowledges
Pizza
it.
sauce.
She frowned at the sight of it. Yes. Ugh.
Yeah, she
red.
found the sight of it. She does it. Oh, wait, go.
Who cares? Ugh.
Yes.
Red. I hate that color. Remember, Alice? The blood pouring from our multiple fathers' scalp?
It was a polyamorous relationship. Don't judge. Sometimes Daddy lets me hang out with Mom's boyfriend.
Keep reading.
And the red flame that consumed your
God
mother.
damn it.
These colors were the last that I remember before you locked me away. Best not to be reminded.
She said as she bent down to the tile floor and dipped her index finger into the bleach.
Drink the whole fucking bottle, bitch. Drink it, you coward.
Okay, it's Raptor. Start.
Raptor. She stood up and...
She stood up and bent her head back, lifting the finger above her eye.
Oh my god.
I don't think
the
you
liquid.
know what bleach does.
Dropping the
liquid
into each eye. They began to sting and burn as if they were on fire.
What was it
she
called?
couldn't see anything for a few minutes. When her vision finally returned, the once crimson liquid turned into a deep black blood.
So
as
to
she looked around.
Wait.
To clarify.
No, just keep reading.
She bleached her eyes so she wouldn't see red.
So she just
As she looked around, everything she saw was either a deep black, a blinding white, or a faded gray. She didn't have to see the horrible color again.
Okay.
Each with her finished with her work, she walked out into the hall when she heard the phone. Walking into Alice's bedroom and answered it.
Stop. I just want to say one thing. It says something. Lady Merrily. I don't give a fuck who. This person didn't write this story.
No.
Whomever penned this masterpiece, it says something about your work where I can look at Jeff the fucking Killer as a character and say he had more of a logical reason for fucking mutilating himself than your character did. There was more of an explanation in that shitty ass story than there is for like Jeff the Killer. Like, oh, my eyes kept closing, and so I burned my eyelids off. At least that is like an attempt at a problem resolution. You're like, oh well, I don't like the color red, so I'm gonna blind myself. You goofy bitch.
Also,
I will go back in time to the primordial ooze and fucking like prevent the first ever creature emerging. So I will take everyone out with me. Fuck you, just to get rid of you.
Okay, Kenzie.
Yeah.
No, wait. I actually think it's like.
Go on.
Who cares?
Hello.
I'm sauced.
It's you and the next Bioman.
Oh, is it?
I think this is
No,
your dialogue.
It's whoever.
Yeah, I think it's.
Yeah.
I think it's you, Bioman.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
She said in a sly voice.
Alice, oh my god, you're all right. I haven't seen you in months. I've been trying to get a hold of you and for forever. I can't even be bothered to anymore.
And spoke in a panic.
I'm fine. Great, actually.
Good. Could you come over? I've got something for you.
She said excitedly.
Hee hee. Yeah, I'll be right over.
Zebo responded, hanging up afterwards.
I think it's Vince's turn now.
Wait,
Oh,
where?
boy.
The smile widened.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Her smile widened, stretching the skin held by. Wait. Is she there yet? Oh, wait. Oh, sorry. I thought she was, like, there right now.
Yeah, she just teleported.
I thought Anne was
She
there
materialized.
and wasn't acknowledging the fucking mutilated face. Don't rush. This is an art form, okay? I need to focus. And I'm 2 beers deep. She quickly walked out of the room, picking up the hammer, and walking out of the house and into the autumn woods. She emerged on the other side, walking up the empty street. Also, I'd like to point out that my job is to protect you. That's why I took over your body. So obviously, I got to kill the person who didn't do anything to you. That's protecting you. The soil tool dragging. What was that?
Snowing earlier?
No,
I know multiple. Who cares?
Yeah, it jumps ahead in time. No one cares. Who cares at this point? Fuck
Shut
this.
up.
The soiled tool dragging behind her, grinding into the. Is this a world that's just made out of concrete? Like every single concrete trees
are concrete.
We just got over SCP. Is this the last SCP where the whole world is made out of concrete, an alternate dimension? That would actually be a cool sci-fi concept. She giggled to herself as she approached the house. The light in the kitchen remained on, and even though her car was gone, Anne's shadow ran across the small lit window. Zero, growing impatient, walked up the stairs and slowly knocked on the oakwood door. Oh, by the way, very smart of you. You've been missing for months. I won't come to you. You come to me.
Why didn't her friend ever check on her? It's like that Sonic.exe thing again, the fucking remake where it's just
she was that whole mirror bit was not metaphorical. She was literally teleported into a mirror dimension. And
7 years. Who cares? Okay, fuck it. Continuing. Okay.
Who's Anne?
And Kenzie.
Oh yeah. I'll be right there, Alice. Man, you're gonna love your gift.
You sound really fucking enthusiastic about it, and yelled from the other room. When she opened the door, her grin quickly faded. What was once here, friend, instead stood a white monster. Okay, I'm very uncomfortable with this. You're bringing race into this and making me very uncomfortable.
Cracker monster.
White men are dangerous.
This colonizer.
Just a waste of black. And I'm pretty sure this wouldn't be so.
Little did she know, and it was a blonde-haired black girl in an all-black neighborhood. Like, oh no, it's a white person. They're invading finally. The sounds filled the room for several moments before Anne ran towards the living room. Zero grabbed her forearm before she could get away and threw Anne against the hardwood floor. Oh, it's not a concrete floor.
Oh, she threw her. She didn't close the door or anything.
Alice, what are you doing?
She sounded terrified and screamed. Zero quickly walked towards her, placing her foot on her arm, splitting in half. Okay.
What? Wait, what?
Place gently, like a little known fact. Anne was born with glass bones and paper skin.
I love
that. That was a complete accident. Zero's like, oh shit, sorry.
Just placing her foot, not even stomping her anything, just placing her foot on her arm.
Also, I love the word choice of splitting. So it makes me
her arm was literally severed.
No, it doesn't make me think of. It makes me think that she stood. It got split down the middle like a fucking log, somehow.
Her screams filled the entire house, rattling against the walls.
Oh, sorry, fuck. Alice is long gone, and she won't be coming back. As for why, well, ... You can't have 0 with 1 left. Ha 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 ha.
Wait, I'm confused. I thought Zero loved Alice and was trying to protect Alice.
It doesn't matter.
She laughed and lifted a large hammer above her head with all of Zero's strength. The hammer entered Anne's skull, spraying black liquid over the walls and floor.
I guess you can say
she's colorblind again.
Okay. I guess you can say that Anne didn't want to be Alice's sledgehammer.
Shut the fuck up, After. Shut the fuck up, or I'm gonna punch you in the eye. I'm gonna punch all of you in the eye if you don't shut up and just get to the end of it.
Fucking bring out. Fight me IRL, Kenzie. Without hesitation, she yanked the weapon and stood up with the.
Hey, that's wrong.
And shook off the process of brain matter hanging. Okay? Fuck. What is wrong with you? Legitimately, what is wrong with you? You couldn't take the fucking 5 seconds out of your day to scan with your eyeballs? Did you actually bleach your eyes, and that's why you can't pick up on spelling errors?
Bean, Manny, please.
Fuck your mother.
The last stretch, please, Manny.
Alright, just don't interrupt anyone.
Okay.
I'm interrupting him. I'm already interrupting him.
I'm drinking another beer. Go on.
With a spark, she left and returned with a large cleaver.
Let's see what we can do with this.
She said as she turned Anne's lifeless body around so her stomach touched the floor. She picked up the knife and ran a line across both Anne's legs, arms, and back. She slowly tore open the cuts, muscles, and tendons, splitting and snapping as more black liquid poured out.
Not cool, boy. Pretty cool.
More black liquid. She repeated this to the rest, and then dug her hands into her back, gripping the rib cage. She pulled and finally yanked out both the spine and the rib cage. Laughing, she placed it next to Anne's body, and next she placed the arms and then the legs. They were all in the right order, Anne's skeleton laying beside her flesh. The only thing missing was the skull.
Your skull is too damaged, and it would be too much of a bother to take all of the skin off. But the rest of your bones, on the other hand, those were all fine, especially your hands, your feet. Fuck the story. Oh, is it my turn to read?
Zero dipped her hand in the pool of black blood and drew a 0 in place of the head on the skeleton.
Fuck your mother.
Perfect. Now you're just like me, a lonely skeleton. ... Oh, what is this?
Something besides the body caught her attention. A box with a white ribbon on top, the tag reading to Alice.
Okay, I'll finish up the story. I'll finish this up. She ripped off the lid and saw a simple black and white scarf inside. Why, thank you, Anne. You know I hate color.
I hate black so much.
I hate those black.
I hate the Negroes.
I hate the yellow man. She
bleached her eyes so she could be more proficient in the fucking race riots.
She said as she swung the cloth around her neck, hopefully to hang herself. Red and blue lights began to fill the dark room through the front of the window, which she wouldn't know. Well, this was fun,
yes.
and period, and now with you gone, we finally have Zero, said the white-faced killer as she raced out the door and into the dark woods. Holy fuck.
So on to rap.
It's over! It's over!
That was
an exodus.
It's over.
Amazing.
I'm so glad I suggested that story to you guys.
Bioman, I know you donated for this, but
suggesting this Bioman, this was amazing.
For doing that, go to Unforgivable Jail.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Over.
Drizzling shit.
Over.
So
I barely got through it.
So, how does this compare to the other stories?
I am legitimately unhappy.
Bioman. Bioman.
Okay.
Remember when you became my mortal enemy, Crane the Riddler? Well, You're my worst enemy for making us read this.
Mic on.
Running into it. I'm sick of this. I don't even care. Like, why does it seem like none of you people know how to make your own ideas? Like, say what you want about the shit that you read on the Crappypasta website. At the very least, a fair amount of those are people that actually have an idea. They don't know how to execute it, but it's something original. All this fucking pasty-faced goth dipshit.
Better.
I gotta admit,
can't tell if this is like
I am
better
saying
or
that.
worse than Empress Teresa.
No, this is not worse than Empress Teresa, was it? This can't be worse than Empress Teresa.
40,000 people.
So,
it's short, so it's better.
Also,
I guess
I would like to apologize.
Formally, about to say, you fucking better.
You have a lot to apologize for.
Because, you know what? No, I'm not going to apologize. This was really fun.
Apologize!
The sad thing is, it took us an hour and a half to read this, and what Vince said is true. We can consider that short compared to Empress Teresa.
How long? Hold on, let me, 1 second.
I honestly can't believe that was only an hour and a half. That
Might
felt
be-
like
Well, we
five
kept
big
going-
hours.
Well, it
To
was
be
an
fair,
hour and a half for you guys. Manny and I have been streaming for nearly 4 hours.
Put axe fish stick on a stick. Go talk to him about 4-hour streams, and then come back to me and we have to do a 4-hour stream. Do you have any idea how long I kept that motherfucker up?
Vince, you are the worst person when it comes to long ass streams. You posted a 7-hour stream. I had to sit through all that shit.
You had to. I forced you, huh?
King.
I have a thing that I'm
King
doing.
you are,
where I had to
man.
do- I
Vince is funny. I watched a 7-hour stream by him.
I know I couldn't always stay for that long because I get tired.
But yeah, I'm so glad that we read this. To be honest, that was the funniest shit in the world.
My life is
It was
ruined.
very funny.
This doesn't even
My innocence gone.
doesn't even rank in the top 5 of shit I hope worst shit of. Not even in the top 50 of the worst stories I've read on Wattpad.
Oh no, this is nowhere near the bottom, but it's so generic.
No, that fucking Baldi's Basic story I read, and I actually removed the stream. That was the worst shit I read.
The worst thing
Cameron says it's finished, but why did it begin? And I'd like to
Because
apologize.
Bioman's a
not
fucking
enough.
douche.
It began because someone saw Jane the Killer and thought, I can do that. Not realizing that not even Jane the Killer could do that.
I'll take a controversial stance. I enjoyed this more than Jane the Killer.
Which
I hate Jeff the Killer. Fuck Jeff the Killer. He ruined everything.
Which Jane the Killer is worse than this? Both of them are.
It is very bad.
Yes,
Both of them?
that's a fucking answer.
Yeah.
Yes, because there's one thing that this story does at least somewhat interesting is when that fucking Anne character came in, I thought, oh, here's the bully character, and it was a relatively normal person who was relatively supportive of the character. So like, oh wow, an actual character who isn't a gigantic fucking asshole.
Not another fucking character to punch my main character to death.
That's one positive it has.
Okay,
At least this wasn't
Peace and F for hands.
Guys, Manny's trying to talk.
Yeah.
No, I will not let Manny talk. Just kidding, talk Manny.
That's okay.
Checker.
I'm going to end the stream now because I need to go lobotomize myself.
Bye.
I really need to go eat.
Have
I'm
fun.
feeling lightheaded and I'm kind of sickly.
I can't wait for us to read Rap Rat.
Me too.
At least
Anyway, remember, like, subscribe, join us for the Teresa stream next weekend, the next Hot and Cold
Also go onto my channel, Vince12.
Beans,
and
also next week.
for-
Please,
Fuck you.
subscribe, watch those
Fuck-
upcoming videos.
Watch me too.
Get
I
us
got
your
an
money
episode coming out
now.
tomorrow.
Money
Okay,
now.
all of you-
Subs
All
now.
of you stop.
Likes now.
Mm,
Notifications now.
Stop.
Stop.
I
I'm done.
am manic right now.
I would like to point out real quick that I volunteered to come here.
Yes.
Me too.
So please join us next week on Vince 12's channel for Wattpad Wednesday.
Excuse you?
Podcast Wednesdays.
Oh, that's right. No, you invited me because Kenzie made fun of me.
Oh yeah, fuck Kenzie. Manny's my new best
Kenzie,
friend.
just kidding, Kenzie. I love you.
I thought I was your best friend.
Look, I don't feel good right now, guys. I don't care anymore.
Yeah, y'all take it
Love
easy. I'm
ya.
gonna keep drinking.
Hey guys, have
Join
fun.
us
Keep
next
drinking,
week for
guys. I approve of alcohol.
for Wattpad Wednesday, and then next Thursday for Empress Teresa. So please remember to like, comment, subscribe.
Yes.
And
That beer can?
and we will
Now,
and thank you all for
my
joining me.
sledgehammers.
We will.
Yes.
I'll see you next time. Same bean time. Same bean channel.
Same bean channel.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Adios, say.
Fuck
My
you all.
gamers.